Secretary of State Steve Simon says in some countries, like France, ballots are counted by hand.
Yes, but that's one contest on the ballot, literally one, and they're able to do that. Here, as any Minnesotan knows who's voted, you have, I don't know, a couple dozen, sometimes 3 dozen or more contests, and those all have to be counted. Contest number 1, then contest number 2.
He told WCCO Radio's Adam and Jordana that the administration has said if states don't comply, they risk losing millions of dollars of federal terrorism prevention funds. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Somali leaders in Minnesota are calling for an end to inflammatory rhetoric from President Trump.
Community advocates gathered to speak out against what they call the political targeting of Somali children after President Trump reshared a photo on Truth Social featuring a kindergarten graduation at Gateway STEM Academy in St. Paul. The post was from a right-wing account criticizing the girls in the photo for wearing hijabs. Executive Director of the Islamic Association of North America, Imam Abdullah.
It has to stop. People who are saying these things has to be held accountable. Nobody is beyond accountability, including our president.
Leaders also responded to a call from Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher to crack down on Somali gang activity, stating that characterizing crime strictly as a Somali problem furthers the discrimination they face. In Minneapolis along Lake Street, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
A Maryland woman is now charged with attempted murder after allegedly assaulting her daughter at a Minnesota lake. 35-year-old Jasmine Laws is accused of holding her 15-year-old daughter underwater on the 4th of July in Otter Tail County. This followed a physical fight involving a cell phone. The 3M Open Golf Tournament with a major announcement as former number 1 player Jordan Spieth will make his debut at next week's event. Tournament Executive Director Hollis Kavner.
I think we're going to have a great golf course and great competition. And, Jordan wants to get back to winning. That's his goal. I mean, he really wants to get back to winning events. And he made that comment. He's like, the guy wants to play and he's close. He's really close. So I feel good about where we're at.
The 3M Open runs July 20th through the 26th at TPC Twin Cities in Blaine. And the search is on for the coolest everyday items you might not have known were made in Minnesota. The Minnesota Chamber of Commerce has opened nominations for its 3rd annual Coolest Thing Made in Minnesota contest, aiming to highlight products that impact Minnesotans' daily lives alongside some well-known consumer brands. Director of Development and Strategic Partnerships, Elizabeth Sherry.
Maybe even a product, too, that is not something that people are familiar with. So a product that's sold to another business, we'd love to see and spotlight that type of innovation as well.
The official winner will be announced live on October 6th at the annual Manufacturers Summit. WCCO News Time is 3:05.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area, there are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Okay, brought to you by Uber. We're going to find some slowdowns west 694 Matterhorn to 252. North 35W slows into Minneapolis past 36th Street. South 35E jammed up already for the afternoon as you make way past Jefferson heading down towards Shepherd Road. 35W southbound slows as you make way past 106th Street to Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $109 air conditioner tune-up. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Metro Heating and Cooling. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
All the rain finally clears out, leaving us mostly cloudy overnight. 68 will be the low. Not quite as humid tomorrow. That will feel nice. We'll get some sunshine back with a high in the mid-80s up to 87 with plenty of sunshine on Friday. Should warm into the 90s by this weekend.
Cloudy right now, 79 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Whether you're in the office or heading to a job site or on the couch in your jammies because your boss thinks remote working is still cool, you can stay connected to what's going on with News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
I do not know what to make of Minnesota's new family leave program. 6 months in, we have a look at how many people are applying for this benefit. At first, my reaction is that, I sure wish I got this much time off when my wife was pregnant with her kids. Welcome to Drive Time. It's Jason. I want your input on Minnesota's Family Leave Act, and I especially would like to hear what your experience has been. Do you own a business where you've had to figure out, like, gosh, now I got, a bunch of people going on leave? I have a number of examples that I've been gathering on social media today, but I'd love to hear from you at 651-461-9226. We reported on this in our news yesterday, and it was one of those things that sometimes I feel like I need some time to think about something before I bring it up on the air. Because my gut reaction, I think, was like a lot of yours. This idea where the state expected in the first 6 months of this new program, and this program gives you up to 20 weeks of leave for pregnancy, for caring for a relative, for illness or injury, all sorts of stuff. It's sort of a state insurance program where the premiums for it come through a almost 0.9% payroll tax. So it's coming out of your check. Your employer might be paying some of it. You might be paying some of it. And the state gets this premium money, but then they've also funded this program so they can pay out a portion of your pay. So you could take, your wife has a baby. You as the guy were, of course, the hero of that interaction. As the father, you participated in somewhere between 10 to 45 seconds of that moment. And your wife, who has spent almost 10 months carrying that child to term, you both get the same amount of time off. I know, bonding. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, old guy. Like, yes. But you could take 20 weeks of paid leave, courtesy of this program. For many, I bet this program has been amazing. Perhaps you work at an employer that doesn't have leave. And the truth is, I think the stats from around the country is something, fewer than 30% of people have any sort of real leave program at their job. That's a lot of people who just end up going without pay, right? You get hurt, you go without pay. My sister has a chronic illness. She lives in Illinois. She uses her sick time. Boom. It's gone, and then she has to take paid leave. Unpaid leave, rather. If she lived in Minnesota, she would be eligible to take 20 weeks of leave. What makes it difficult to know how to feel about it is the state reported out that about 145,000 people applied for paid leave, and around 75,000 applications were granted. Now, I have reached out to the state to try to get some clarity. Does that mean almost 50,000 people were denied because they were trying to scam the system? Or does it mean like those folks they had incomplete paperwork, whatever? It's hard to know if this thing is working or if this thing is not. It's hard to know. And that's why I'm asking for your input. 651-461-9226. One texter saying, thank you for asking for input. I'm a small business owner of a very small company, and I think this is absolutely outrageous. That goes in line with some of the comments I got on social media from people who are dealing with this program. So, for example, MN Pop-Tart says, it has cost my company $80,000 in new taxes through Q2. That's not including the cost to replace employees on leave. I'm not saying there isn't a place for it, but it is true that it is only half. If it's true, it's only half funded. That's a huge problem for businesses that are going to be dumped on again. The law set a cap and said, here's the most that we can raise the payroll tax in order to fund this. At the end of the year, well, frankly, by the end of this month, there is going to be a recommendation from the state as to how much they should charge. I think at the most fundamental level, we look at this and say, people who need to care for a loved one or people who are post-surgery or post-injury, we do want them to have some paid leave so we can take care of each other. At the same time, another response says on a small team of 8, so imagine this, a company with just 8 people, 3 have gone out on paid family medical leave, 2 at the same time. That's put a lot of strain on the rest of us. This Midwest Unity on X says, I know 100% that one of those employees went on vacation 1 week after coming back. She quit via text. So here is the danger, and I guess here is my challenge to you. We know there is going to be a certain amount of fraud. We know there are a certain number of people who are going to take advantage of the system. Welcome to life. Rich people take advantage of the system by trying to dodge taxes. Some ding-dong that works next to you in the office takes advantage of the system by calling in sick and using their sick days when they're not sick. So life has a certain amount of this. I am not ready to pronounce an entire program garbage or fraud because we can come up with some examples. That said, we don't have the best track record in this state at setting up a system that protects against the fraud. So it's difficult to know what to do. 651-461-9226. Jason, I'm both for and against this leave plan. My husband is a consultant. His company only makes money when it's 150 employees are placed with customers and then billing. At the same time, we need to somehow show humanity. I think that's right. Another texter says it's tough enough for our small businesses. Now we've added family leave, many weeks to that. What's coming up next? Another texter says it's low-hanging fruit for fraudsters. I think the question that we have to face, and look, I get it if your analysis of every program the state of Minnesota does is look at all the fraud we had in the human services area. And, well, this is probably going to be fraud too. I get it if that's your reaction. I honor that reaction. That is not what we do on this show. I don't analyze federal programs from Donald Trump by saying Donald Trump bad, and so everything is bad. Similarly, I don't analyze state programs by saying we were lazy when it comes to fraud, and so everything we do is going to be lazy when it comes to fraud. That's just not how I choose to do this show or to live my life. Texters at 651-461-9226 says small businesses suffer tremendously with this new family leave law because they don't have any options to fill in the workplace. On top of the cost of it. Again, this probably had no big business impact, says this texter from 507, but the little guy gets killed again. I do think that's a valid response. In this state right now, if you are a small business, it is challenging with the new mandates, the new fees, this insurance program. Also, like, if you ask Minnesotans, what do you think about family leave? Should people have the ability to have paid time off from work? It's overwhelmingly popular. So this is classic, right? We want it, but we think other people are probably going to be liars when they use it. Betty is in Lakeville at 651-461-9226. Betty, you can tell, like, I'm at this point, it's jury's out on this. I'm nervous about this program, but I also feel like there are a lot of people who are getting to take care of their parents or take care of their children. And that is a good thing. Where are you on this?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that people that are fighting it and just haven't been in the situation where they've had to stay home and take care of a sick child, or even just spend some time with your newborn baby. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
And I also have a friend that's involved in the program, and it's very tight. There's not a lot of room for fraud. Yeah, and 5% of the people are going to take advantage of it. Yeah. That's life.
That is life.
The way it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
to
and
me,
I
that's
feel
not
like
enough to just be like, oh, throw it out. It's fraud. It's that. It's like, well, yeah, there's some fraud in it for sure. But you do need like, to get approved. And this is why I'm trying to get a number. How many people were denied for like trying to rip off the thing or inadequate evidence or whatever? Because you can't just like fill out a form. You have to have a doctor's note or some sort of certification. Now, is there fraud in that process? Probably, but is it widespread? I don't know.
But I think I do think there's a lot of steps that you have to go through from what I understand. And I also think, some of the small businesses are getting hit. But, they pick and choose what they complain about. They can do a lot of things in the small business that they spend money on themselves, and that's fine. It's 0.1%. I mean, come on. Can't we just be a decent society that helps out people that need a little help? What's wrong with that? I'm not a wealthy person, but I feel like it's okay to help people. It's okay. It's not going to kill any of us. And someday they might need it. And then they'll be like, wow, that was awesome. Like, I was able to help and care for my sick child or whoever.
Yeah, and there is benefit to the employer also, the fact that they don't have to go out and, recruit and try to, relocate or hire a new employee. You get to keep the institutional knowledge because somebody doesn't have to leave their job for this moment. They get that cushion. That said, if I were a small business, like I think about my friend who owns a restaurant, and you have people who are taking advantage of this benefit, as they should, why not? But then you got to hire new people to come in and fill that job for 10 weeks or 12 weeks or 4 weeks. And that's really hard when you are a really small business. That's difficult too.
It is. And I am involved in that situation. But I think a lot of it is a conversation between the employer and the employee to try to figure out a plan. What's going to work for everybody here? That's part of the problem is just need communication.
Betty, good call. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it. 651-461-9226. Tons of text coming in. Drive Time will share your thoughts on this as we continue.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
We're talking construction law today with Blake Nelson, an attorney from Helmuth & Johnson. Blake, why is having the right legal support so important?
One delay, one payment issue, or one contract mistake can put an entire project at risk and be the difference between making and losing money. In Minnesota, contract terms, timing, and documentation matter.
How does Helmuth & Johnson help?
We help contractors, subcontractors, and property owners protect their rights, get paid, and keep projects moving.
Learn more at hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all your construction law needs.
If you need to sell a house and you want it done now, and you want to skip the hassles, let me show you how. Join the Red Check Club and sleep well tonight. Join the Red Check Club and save your precious time. Get a guaranteed cash offer and don't look back. Go to chrislindahl.com and then start to pack.
Party at your place this summer? Fix things up inside and out with July 4th deals, now at Lowe's. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on a select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Oh, hey, Sarah, did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid Nice. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Jason DeRusha.
You can't have people telling you 24/7 that you're great. You need people around you to say, hey, that's a bad idea.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we're talking about the paid family medical leave in the state of Minnesota. It's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, man, this is very popular. 75,000 applications approved. Certainly people had a demand for this. On the other hand, you say, that's a lot of use. 10,000 more applications approved than were expected. Already the tax rate went up before it even started. The tax rate was approved at one level by the legislature, was set there. Then it got raised when they looked at, let's be realistic. We're going to need to take more money in premiums. And likely it's going to go up again. And all of us are paying for this, just like unemployment insurance. It's a benefit like that. Will we be able to afford it? I think that is the question where you say, like, is this a want versus a need? I think in this case, it's both. It is a need for many people. The other solution is folks going on long-term disability, but that doesn't always fit based on some of this stuff. It's a tricky situation. Lots of text coming in at 651-461-9226.
And it's only going to get trickier because you've got a generation, right, of our Gen Xers who are starting to take care of our parents, and that's only going to become more and more and more important and pulling us away from the job, and important to have time away to be able to deal with it. You know, you have this huge boomer generation that's going to be needing care, and that's going to pull on this. I'm empathetic to small businesses that don't have a lot of employees and are struggling to figure out how to make this work, but you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? As you mentioned, we've already tweaked how we're doing the funding of it a couple of times. Well, we can also look at the other end of it and say, okay, it's not working for businesses below this particular level. It's placing an undue burden upon them. So we're going to raise whatever the floor is of this thing in terms of business size to make sure, because there are plenty of businesses in Minnesota that can handle this, no problem.
Right.
And we shouldn't let them off the hook and force their employees to, not be able to get access to this sort of benefit simply because there are small businesses where it is an undue burden. And we can have those kinds of nuanced discussions and deal with that legislatively in the next session. But there's not nearly enough data in my mind yet to be able to say it's working, it's not working, and just, end it.
The average weekly payment is just a little over $1,000. 58% of those who have applied are younger than 40. And something like, it was like 38,000 workers submitted applications for birth-related time off. Now, this year, that number is going to be a little higher because of what I would say is a dumb part of this program, that if you had a baby born in 2025, you got to retroactively use this benefit. Now, I suppose it was to try to be fair to that December 30th birthday or whatever, but I think that is going to juice the numbers at the beginning, and then you'll sort of see in Q3 and 4, the second halves of this year, how this works. Texter says, I'm in the middle of this paid leave process, and it is a pain in the my issues. 1, there's no handshake between employer and state. You can double dip and get full pay plus state payments. I know because we did, and we're trying to get it straightened out with our payroll. Number 2, if you worked for a good employer with paid leave already, it made your benefit much worse because now you get to play middleman between the state and HR instead of just getting full pay with no drama. That is a true statement. Like, one of my friends who owns a business had a paid leave benefit, which he got rid of because now there's this state benefit that everybody's paying for. So he did make that change. That said, he was in the minority having that benefit, right? So, like, did that for his workers end up being a little bit of a worse deal? Yes. For the aggregate, is it better? Yes. Own a small plumbing company. I have one employee in Minnesota, paid leave, and another one expected to go on it in January, both with new children. I'm currently paying the full premium for all my employees, but I'm second guessing it now for next year. Would love to know what people's thoughts are. I'm also thinking, if you use it, you don't get vacation. I'm losing 12 weeks of production per employee, which in turn I'm working nights and weekends nonstop to keep up with demand. It's really interesting, right? Like, I think if I were a small business, I would take a look at what the burden of this was on me, and I would reconsider, like the tax is a 0.88% payroll tax, and you're allowed to charge your employee 0.44%. I would get passing on the 0.44 if you were taking the whole thing on yourself right now. I think that makes sense to me. Unemployment is usually not a choice. Having a child is a choice. You should prepare for it, says a texter. I get it. It's the same thing when I say, like, oh, I wish I had zero leave as a dad back in the day. And I'm glad there's leave now. I'm not such a douche that because I didn't get the benefit, I'm like, oh, this stinks. I didn't get it, so you should suffer too. Like, that's silly. Wendy is in Andover. It's a complicated scenario. The textures are being very good, Wendy. The calls are good too. I think everybody understands like the good of this and the challenge of it. Trying to figure out, is it worth it, is a little more tricky.
Yeah, I would like to talk about some of the challenges. One thing is if you're employed, you pay 0.04%, so it's an additional tax. If you're self-employed, it's 0.08% because the employer doesn't match it.
Right.
Self-employed people can't take time off because they don't have an employer, so they're paying double their income. For example, me, it's $1,500 a year out of my bank statement, and I can never take paid family leave because I'm the employer. I'm self-employed. So self-employed people should not be charged at all. One thing.
Well,
Number two,
can I just stop you right there? Because my understanding of the Minnesota program is that if you are self-employed or an independent contractor, you're not automatically in this program. You can choose to opt in, but you're not forced. If you're a one of one, you're not forced to opt in or pay this tax.
Real estate agents, insurance agents, all kinds of independent contractors, it's automatically taken out of their paycheck. It's not an option. And they're paying double what a W-2 employer is paying. And they can't take time off because if you take time off, you don't make any money at all.
Right.
So that's one thing. The other thing is I've got grandchildren that are sitting in the cafeteria 3 out of 4 of their class sessions a day because the teachers are on paid family leave, and the school districts are not allowed to call in subs until a big percentage of the teachers are gone.
The school and the hospital scenario, I think, is the biggest challenge for this. Because
and police.
Yeah,
police,
Minnesota, right? Minnesota Hospital Association has been speaking about the challenges of this because exactly what you said. It is very difficult to fill in those positions. Thanks, Wendy. It's tough. My mind on this is open. I'm cautious. I think we have, as Dan said, nowhere near enough data on this. There are so many stories of great outcomes from this, right? Individuals like Nick, who said, I took 12 weeks off to be with my daughter. I'll forever be grateful for that time. I have no political stance on it. I was just very appreciative. It's interesting stuff. We're going to break in a minute. Tracy Perlman joins us. Tracy, as you know, with us every week, she works for Grand Casino Arena. I was curious what happens when you get like a sudden schedule change, when a pop star says, oh, I got to cancel my show for a million different reasons, but they have to cancel. What happens? Tracy will tell us. We'll get into some other good stuff too when we come back on Drive Time.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chris Lindahl in the Big Red Shack. It's Jason here from my buddy Chris. Great Minnesotan. I've known Chris for a long time, and I am always surprised by what he's coming up with because he's always thinking about new ways to make your life easier if you're trying to sell your house. Now, right now, would anyone describe selling your house as easy? I don't think so. Uncertainty abound. Interest rates up and down. And headaches up, more up than down. More and more homes, you've probably seen this in your own neighborhood, have been sitting on the market week after week, taking price cut after price cut. Do you want to deal with the headaches? Maybe not. That's where the guaranteed cash offer and the Chris Lindahl Big Red Check makes sense to you. Get to the website. See if your home would be a good candidate for this. Some neighborhoods are hot. Maybe you don't need this. Some are not. Get to chrislindahl.com. Get the free smart seller guide. See if you should be getting in line for that big red check.
Each year, millions of Minnesotans leave their homes and begin a great migration. They travel north toward mysterious watering holes known simply as the cabin.
Did anybody pack the life jackets?
Under the chips.
Through storms, traffic, roadwork, and sacred debates over the very best bait, they remain connected.
Sure, go off the grid, but not out of the loop. Stay connected even when you're unplugged with News Talk 830 WCCO.
Are we there yet?
We're still in the driveway.
Minnesota summers, Minnesota stories, Minnesota's station. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here.
Hello.
Suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking.
Oh, thriving.
Your low energy.
That good,
the
huh?
truth is, their food is probably to blame.
I'm having to remember how to do
dog food is dead food.
coding, internet coding.
One
Good
daily
times.
scoop gives
I'd
your
remember
pup
how to
the
run
live
Chad Hartman show
vitamins,
for an hour and a
omega
half
oils, probiotics, and
Ooh.
enzymes
Trade
that will
ya.
bring their food back to life.
I
Don't
might take you
believe
up
me?
on that,
Let
actually.
your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free
We're just about to hit
Jumpstart
traffic
trial
and weather.
bag.
We'll be with you in a couple.
Risk-free.
Okay, I've got my ear open.
Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. The lane shifts have been put into place for 394. Eastbound, you're using the express lanes. Westbound, you're now using 3 lanes of traffic. On the original westbound side of things, traffic is moving very nicely in both directions. Some slowing for South 94, though, as you make way past 7th Street overpass as you head into the area of Lowry Hill Tunnel. Attention, motorists, Laguna, Minnesota wants you to slow down when driving in construction zones. You're now entering their work zone where they are building a better Minnesota for you. So please slow down when you see the orange cones and yellow vests and save lives. Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Oh no, the lights are flickering, the drain is backing up, the water heater just went cold. When home problems interrupt your day, call Randy's Electric and Plumbing. Same-day repairs, licensed pros, and clear pricing before work begins. For those oh no moments, call Randy's Electric and Plumbing.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by my friends at Randy's Electric and Plumbing. Let's get the latest from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll be taking a break, an extended break from any rainfall. Mostly cloudy overnight tonight as we fall back to about 68. Partly cloudy, 85 tomorrow. Not as humid. Soak in the drier air. It will get muggy again by the weekend. Sunshine on Friday with a high of 87. Highs will be in the 90s Saturday and Sunday and stay there early next week.
Too hot. It's too hot. This summer, trash. Right now, it's just humid. 79 and cloudy on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I feel like you're wasting my time talking about something that I wasn't a part of. I feel like the most intellectually bankrupt. This is just terrible.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tracy Perlman is with us from her office at Grand Casino Arena in St. Paul. Tracy, how are you?
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you?
How was your 4th?
It was lovely. We did some mini golf. We did some sparklers. Ate all the hot dogs.
Where do you mini golf? I feel like our mini golf scene here in the Twin Cities is not that good.
So we jumped the gun and did not listen to Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer and canceled our pool plans. So we mini golfed at Putt Shack in Edina.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. It's
That
a little
is
more
fun.
interactive than mini golf.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. The kids liked it. Our parents liked it. My family's golfers. And my parents really enjoyed it. So it's fun.
We have like the mini golf scene has become like a video game scene, right?
Yeah.
It's not like when I was a kid growing up in suburban Chicago, there was a mini golf place called Par King. And Par King had all the cheesy, they had the windmill, they had the, at the end.
Clown mouth.
Yes. Yes. All of those things.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff. And especially like when you're in high school.
Yeah.
One of the things my kids talk about is that it's hard when you're under 21, it's hard to find stuff to do, you know?
But there's also Centennial Lakes has a great mini golf course. That one's actually challenging.
Skill golf. Do you want skill golf or do you want comedy golf?
I just want to be entertained. I want to have fun.
Yeah.
The other one is Puttery in the North Loop.
Yeah.
That one's a little more traditional, but it's like artsy.
I like the Putt Shack. Like I thought that, I mean, where's your favorite golf place? It's 651-461-9226. We also have those big, like Launchpad. Have you been to Launchpad down near Mystic Lake?
Not
That's
yet.
pretty slick.
I enjoy like Top Golf.
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
Great.
If I can't,
Similar
if I'm not
idea.
actually golfing, it's fun.
Yes. Alyssa cannot golf.
Okay.
And she is most likely to be the champion when we go to
Because she's not overthinking it. Like when my parents go to Top Golf, they get really competitive.
Right.
They don't understand why the ball's not going where they want it to go. And I'm like, you have to play the game. You got to look for the colors and you have to just keep hitting it. So if I know I can use my 7-iron and I can just knock it into a red consistently, my points will triple. I have to strategery.
Is it fun to win with the points or is it just more fun to like hit the ball and
Just
like really let
crush
it? Yeah. I just try to hit it as hard as I can. That's it.
Then you're not playing for strategy, but that's fine because then I'll win. Everybody's happy.
That's true. It's a win-win for you.
What did you do for the 4th?
4th of July, my sister-in-law and her husband, they are sort of the 4th of July mavens. So we had a party at their house in the Grove in the MG.
Nice.
Prior to that, we went to Meteor Bar in North Minneapolis, which had a hot dog eating contest.
Nice.
And what that moment taught me, as a big fan of Meteor Bar, I love that place. Meteor Bar is like, it's dive bar vibes, but craft cocktail.
I was going to say, it's like the bartender's bar, isn't it?
Bartenders love Meteor.
Yeah.
And I love Meteor.
Mike Augustinak likes Meteor.
Big cocktail.
That may be an unsolicited advertisement, but I have personally dropped him off at that bar.
So what was interesting about being a 51-year-old man at Meteor Bar on the 4th of July is that I felt like a 98-year-old man at Meteor Bar. Because Meteor Bar is a place for the hipsters.
You qualify.
No. The hipsters of today are in their 20s.
Okay.
There were a lot of mullets.
Oh.
There were rat tails.
Oh.
There were
Plaid? Was there a lot of plaid?
Well,
are the hipsters not wearing plaid anymore?
Yeah, no, they're not. They're wearing very tight, like graphic tees, very tight graphic tees.
Okay.
That let you see maybe more than you need to see, you know?
But want different.
It's just like there was a point that the hipster was like the bearded flannel going to the craft brewery guy.
Right.
Today's
whole
hipster,
theme.
I think, it just was a different visual.
Different
It's a
vibe.
different visual. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Was
if
your
you,
cocktail good?
the cocktail was great. The hot
Was it a
dog
Bomb
experience.
pop? Like I love a bomb pop cocktail on the 4th of July. Little grenadine, blue curacao, lemonade, vodka.
America. I would just say like the young people of the hipster bar scene. It's just like it made me glad that I wasn't young, you know? It looks like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is.
So that's what we did. And then we watched people like try to do a hot dog eating contest, which I think we all think, like, how many hot dogs do you think you could eat in 5 minutes?
2. Remember, Jason, I had gastric bypass. I have a tiny tummy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So maybe
good.
half of one?
I could maybe for sure 1, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 if I'm like really hungry.
I'm not sure I could do 2. I mean, you look at it and you think like, oh, that looks so easy. But then watching these people, it was just bun and dog.
Okay.
How many do you think
Were they doing the water bit? Because that's where it gets really gross watching one of these things where they dunk it in a big glass of water so that the bun goes down faster.
Well, we watched the Joey Chestnut thing before we went to Meteor, which, let's just be honest, that was too much.
Yeah, no.
Too much time for Alyssa and I to watch people shove hot dogs in their mouth.
Yeah. What I find amazing is once he knows he's ahead, he just slows himself down.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have to eat 6 more. So I'm just going to slow her down.
Doesn't he have any pride, though? Like, let's try to get the record. Let's try to be better than before. You just want the money, I guess.
He just needs to win. But I think I heard on the radio people say he has certain foods, like hot dogs is his specialty. There's other foods he's not as good at that they know they can beat him at. And I was like, oh.
He was here in Minnesota for like a chicken wing. I interviewed him. He was like on mid-morning or something back in the Channel 4 days. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Weird. You know, you can make money doing all sorts of weird stuff in America.
If you were to take part in a eating contest, what food would you either want to attempt or do you feel like you would have a good shot at winning?
Fried pickles. Frickles.
Oh.
Yeah. I could house coins, frickle coins like you wouldn't believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan?
I'm trying to process how that came right out of the holster. You didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
Well, I had fried pickles last night, and so it was just top of mind.
Yeah. Mine's pizza, without question. I can crush
how would
some
you
pizza.
do a pizza eating contest? Because the danger of like the mouth burn, the roof of your mouth
I mean, whoever's doing the contest
Would it have
then
to be
obviously
cold
has
pizza?
to. No, it doesn't have to be cold pizza. You just have to serve it at a
lukewarm
temperature that works.
Warm room temperature pizza.
Yeah.
You know how it is when you go to a pizza place and it comes out and it's probably like the nuclear cheese, but if you give it like 5 minutes, it's, it's fine.
Do you have that kind of patience?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's called self-control.
Yeah.
I don't if I get a tavern style pizza, square cut, like at Lattice or Red Savoy, I'm going to burn the roof of my mouth. I'm going to do it. I don't care.
Well, for me, it's the reverse
I
Joey
eat it.
Chestnut. I'm going to start slow. And then as the pizza cools, now I'm getting into it.
And then you build. Yeah. I think we'd also, for pizza, that's a good one. You'd have to, is it like the Minnesota cracker crust? Is it a thin crust? Lattice has got good
I think
pizza.
it's got to
but
be
they
a thin
have
crust.
thicker.
Yeah, no, you can't do the big thick crust. It has to be a thin crust.
But like the Sicilian style, go to town.
No. Texter's coming in with a couple mini golf suggestions before we take a break. Big Stone mini golf, very fun.
Very fun. Minnetrista. That's out Minnetrista.
Big art sculpture is very cool. That's a good one. Mini golf at the Walker Art Center is a very cool place. Yeah, just skyline view, crazy art. Dinosaur Dred Scott in West Bloomington. Is that I have in all my years I have never heard of that. But that is, it's by the Pig Ate My Pizza. The links at Dred Scott. I had no idea.
Huh.
Bloomington. There's a lot of stuff in Bloomington.
It's the premier mini golf course.
That's and it's at Dred Scott Field, right by Tony Oliva Field. So this is right off of like 169 and Riverview Road.
Oh, this looks adorable.
No, there you go. All right, let's break. In a minute, we're going to ask Tracy about what happens when an artist cancels at Grand Casino Arena. 2 pop stars canceled their shows in St. Paul this July. I just wonder, like, how this all goes down. Nothing specific about these 2. People cancel shows for all sorts of reasons, but Meghan Trainor and Melanie Martinez are both called off shows next week, which I assume means Tracy gets a few more nights to, like, go mini golfing. We'll learn a little bit more about that when we come back on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So tomorrow, my wife has a big appointment, and I'm not speaking out of school here. She told me I could tell you about it. It's at Tureen Dermatology. It's Jason here for Tureen Dermatology. And both Alyssa and I go to see Dr. Mohiba Tureen. I go once a year. She goes twice a year for a full body skin checkup. Now, if you've never had a full body skin checkup, especially if you're around my age, I recommend it. You just don't know what the long-term effects have been of, well, maybe tanning beds if you're doing that back in the day, or sitting on the sideline of a youth baseball or a youth soccer game. One strong sunburn can actually have lingering effects when it comes to cancer, and that's why this month especially, July, is UV Safety Awareness Month. It's so important to get that full-body skin checkup. Tureen Dermatology has 11 locations. They're close to you. You live in Western Wisconsin. They're growing like crazy. They're all over the metro, Eagan, Lakeville. I go to Roseville. But they're welcoming new patients within 2 weeks. Dr. Tureen knows how important it is to get that baseline check. But on top of that, if you have a mark or a mole that's changed shape or changed color, don't wait. Don't wait. Go get it checked out. It's nothing to be nervous about. They'll make sure that you're all good to go. Tureen Dermatology, let you request an appointment right online. You can go to Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Summer is here and you need more room for your kids or grandkids and all their stuff. It's Jason DeRusha for Luther Kia of Bloomington. We're in the middle of the summer sticker sales event. 0% on all Sportages and Sorrentos. Specially marked vehicles have $750 bonus cash too. Best cars for the money on the market. It's not just me saying it. It's U.S. News and World Report. Check out their brand new facility. Luther Kia of Bloomington now open at 35W and 494. LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for southbound 35E as you move past Victoria Street, heading down into the work zone up ahead as you head towards Shepherd Road. Give yourself 10 to 15 extra on your ride if you're headed that way. Things running smoothly for 394. The traffic shift has been made, but things running smoothly in both directions as you make your routine downtown and Highway 100. West 94 slows past 169 to Weaver Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services bringing us the weather forecast. Mostly cloudy tonight, low of 68. Tomorrow, 85 is the high. Friday, 87. Dry through the weekend in the 90s by Saturday. There are some severe thunderstorm watches in parts of Minnesota, including Dodge, Faribault County, Goodhue, Houston. So keeping an eye on that chance as well. Right now, it is 80 degrees on CCO.
Steering you through what matters. Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Tracy Perlman with us from Grand Casino Arena, where this next week was supposed to be a busy week over at Grand Casino Arena, but two pop stars canceled. Meghan Trainor, who like all about that bass, about the her, and that she's like half the woman she used to be, Meghan Trainor, and then Melanie Martinez, who I don't know who that is.
So she started on The Voice.
Okay.
And then kind of built up a career from there.
So they both canceled their shows next week. What happens to a venue? So like over at Grand Casino Arena, you have plans, you have people scheduled, all this stuff. Maybe do you start building or preparing for sets or seating or any of that? Or
not at this point. So I'll back it up. So when we announce a show, we internally know a couple weeks to a couple months out ahead of time. Or that's established. People can rent out the venue. So how it works is somebody like Live Nation or AEG, a concert promoter, will rent out the building. We operate it. So the show is announced. For whatever reason, an artist cancels. It's sort of like canceling a reservation, canceling a hotel or restaurant reservation. So then we kind of stand down at that point. So as far as things being built, no, the sets and seats aren't put out until about a day or two before. Sometimes if people kick off a tour, Lionel Richie's kicked off a tour here. Trying to remember who else has kicked off tours. But when they kick off a tour here, they may be in the building, or Benson Boone was the other one. They may be in the building for a couple days before to just do rehearsals and final tech checks and things like that. But really, it's the night before a lot of the stages are built. So nothing was built. Seats weren't put out. These shows were canceled pretty early. They've been canceled now for a couple months. So any fans that bought tickets will get refunds, from the promoter. We're just kind of the midddan in it. So it's not as exciting as it sounds when shows get canceled.
Yeah, so it's not really that big of a deal. It's sort of like if Dan was getting married, and then
and bye.
Somebody canceled at the last minute, then you lose your deposit.
The things that it does, end up affecting is you've got a lot of union workers, right, who are rigging the lights, they're putting out the chairs, they're cleaning the facility. all the people on tour. We have guest services people, the restaurants around the building. So there is a trickle effect when we're not as busy, right? But really, unless they're canceling a day or two before, we're not in that much of a staffing jam.
You got Monster Jam next week.
We do.
How long does it take to put all the dirt out there for Monster Jam?
It's about 3 days. They get it done in about a day and a half, but it takes them about 3 days to finalize it. We will put out a time-lapse video, and it is really fun to see because the trucks are huge and they're hauling a ton of local dirt, I learned last year.
Local dirt.
It's local. Otherwise, they'd have to ship it.
It's artisanal local dirt. Oh
it's
my
in the
God.
Twin Cities.
You guys are so
Minnesota
desperate.
dirt's the best dirt.
If
People
they
are
had
telling
to
me.
ship it and drag it from city to city, you're paying for all that extra fuel. So
All
if
right,
it comes, it's coming right off of 394 is what it's probably.
I want to know where the dirt is. I'm going to go out and do a social media video about the artisanal dirt that are being brought in for Gravedigger.
Yeah. It's a cool show. Get your tickets.
I mean, honestly, the best thing about having Tracy on is she makes me look a little less like a shell. So only a little, though. Continental
Let's not go that far.
Continental Diamond time is 3:58. Keep your dang dirt out of the Continental Diamond showroom in St. Louis Park. Thanks, Tracy.
Bye, guys.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Everyone worth hearing, everything worth knowing. News Talk 830 WCCO. 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. military confirming it is carrying out another round of strikes against Iran for Iran's firing on vessels in the Strait of Hormuz Tuesday. President Trump at the NATO summit in Turkey telling reporters that the memo of understanding is over. ABC's Selena Wang has more.
President Trump had previewed that there would likely be more U.S. military action today. The president saying the U.S. would probably strike Iran, quote, hard again. We don't know exactly the targets in this statement. They are saying that this is in order to degrade their ability to threaten freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. But today we did also hear the president threaten to target critical civilian infrastructure.
In Maine, growing pressure for Democratic candidate Graham Plattner to drop out of the U.S. Senate race. It follows new accusations of sexual assault. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Under Maine law, Plattner has just 5 days to drop out to be removed from the ballot. State Democrats would then have 2 weeks to select a new candidate, but there's no exact roadmap for how that process would go. Overnight, the executive director of the Democratic Party of Maine saying Plattner's team has reached out, accusing them of trying to dictate the next steps.
Immigrant rights groups demanding an independent investigation into Tuesday's fatal shooting of a Mexican national in Houston. ICE agents are calling it self-defense.
According to his son, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo had been in the U.S. for nearly 35 years, working in construction. On Tuesday, ICE officers attempted to pull him over, but say that he sped away and then tried to run over an agent with his van. Hours after the incident,
Fight for jobs and education.
Protesters were on the same street where Araujo was shot to death.
ABC's Jim Ryan. The Emmy nominations are out. The series Hacks set the record for the most nominations in a single year in the comedy category with 24. The Pit led this year's drama category with 25 nominations. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 80 degrees at 4:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Emotional testimony this afternoon at a Minneapolis City Council committee meeting.
We've had a complicated history on the north side, and drones do not need to be a part of this history.
One after one, Minneapolis residents spoke out against a proposed plan to launch a pilot program which would use drones to respond to 911 calls. Many spoke out about the manufacture of the drones, Sky2Go, and its use in the Middle East.
Sky2Go drones are a CIA-backed development that have been surveilling and killing Palestinian people the entirety of the genocide.
That public hearing is still underway. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With just 4 months to go before the midterm elections, Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon is briefing reporters on the status of election security in the state. He says the federal government in the past has been more involved in the process, but isn't this time around, as the Justice Department is currently suing Minnesota, demanding access to the state's voter rolls.
In a normal election, we would have had active partnership in cybersecurity. We would have had them doing on-site visits, trying to poke holes in and find weaknesses in our cybersecurity systems. We would have had intelligence briefings by now at secure locations.
He says they're now filling that void.
I don't want anyone to think that we're just sort of high and dry here. Like, take cybersecurity, for example. This is something that we can find consultants to do. We used to get it for free. We're having to spend extra money.
Simon talking with WCCO's Adam in Jordana today. A major announcement from the 3M Open golf tournament.
Fresh off the heels of the world's #1 player Scottie Scheffler committing to play, former #1 Jordan Spieth has been added to the field. Tournament Executive Director Hollis Kavner.
Well, this is huge. Anytime you can get Jordan Spieth to come play, and you know, with his record and all the majors and everything else that he's won, he's an iconic player and a great guy.
He's also a fan favorite, which equates to ticket sales.
It creates so much interest in the with the fan base, and you know, people that might have been on the fence whether they were going to come out or not. Now all of a sudden you look at it and go, you know, you got the #1 player in the world, you got a former #1 that just committed, and all these other greats. You know, we see an instant jump in sales.
Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Some good news and bad news regarding the 394 road construction project. All 3 westbound lanes between downtown Minneapolis and Highway 100 are now open, but traffic coming into downtown is reduced to 2 lanes, with people having to use the Easy Pass lane. That merge happens near Highway 100, and you can expect delays. MnDOT's Nathan Bowie.
In St. Louis Park is when we expect to have probably the most longest delays or biggest impacts for eastbound 394.
The entire project ends in November.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
That's what
there.
I hear.
If you live in the West Metro, you should probably stay home for the next couple of months. I have a good friend who lives at Penn and 394 back near like Worth Park and Cedar Lake, and trying to get there from St. Paul. I mean, if somebody has a helicopter and they would like to drop me in, that would be much easier.
Wow.
You just have to sort of you end up taking city streets a little bit to work your way through. So,
wow.
And Cook, you live over there, right?
Yeah. So I usually take Highway 100 north to 394 in, and frankly, not to harsh your opinion, but it was smooth sailing today. I had no problem getting in.
From 394
It just
to downtown.
when you go north to East 394, it just diverts you into the HOV lanes, which is how we'd been going west for the last couple of months, and now it just reversed and go east. It was not a big deal.
I also saw a tweet from somebody who lives downtown Minneapolis but works in St. Louis Park, who couldn't get out of downtown on their way to work with ramps and
text or call in, and people want to talk about it. And like this Dan Cook positivity about construction.
Positive Dan Cook.
I am not interested in that. No, if that is your experience, I want to hear about it. 651-461-9226. It's probably the biggest construction project in the metro this summer.
Right now. Right? Yeah, for sure. It's 4:06 on CCO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Speaking of 394, I just checked the cameras. Things are running pretty smooth both directions as you make way between.
Give me a break, Jerry. I want to hear construction mayhem. Make it sound like more dramatic for us.
I got it for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
South 35B is single lane as you make your way toward West 7th Street. That's got to back up almost to St. Clair. That's going to cost you 15 to 20 minutes right now. You happy?
I'm happy.
South
now.
100
Yeah,
is make
very
way
good.
towards Cedar Lake. South 100, Cedar Lake Road, crash off to the right side. Get ready for your slowdowns. You come down from 394. If you're going to be traveling West 94, up in that area of Maple Grove, you're going to find your slowdowns in place. 169 to Weaver Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
For the best windows in the business that are made to order just for you. An array of styles, features that will fit your project and budget. Only one way to go. My friends with Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. Tell me, heard this from Chad.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Pella Windows Northland. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
All the rain finally clears out, leaving us mostly cloudy overnight. 68 will be the low. Not quite as humid tomorrow. That will feel nice. We'll get some sunshine back with a high in the mid-80s up to 87 with plenty of sunshine on Friday. Should warm into the 90s by this weekend.
Cloudy right now, 80 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You can hear about the story anywhere, but there's only one place where you get to talk about it. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, if you guys want to weigh in on that construction, 651-461-9226. Our West Metro chief correspondent, Blois Olson, texted in, noting that this is a holiday week, so traffic levels are going to be a little bit lower this week.
Traffic levels are lower. And then obviously with my experience, I'm coming in well after rush hour.
Yeah.
Working later in the day. So, rush hour could have been terrible for all I know.
Right. Who knows?
But
probably
my
not.
experience. So what happened to me today is I'm, preparing for the show. I'm locked in the morning. You know how I operate, right? I'm, searching the interwebs for all the potential stories we could talk about and just praying I didn't get a call from Chad Hartman to, book 15 guests for him.
Because you had to help him out today as well.
Yeah, so I just,
Texter is asking if you're going to be on every show today. And I assume you're co-hosting with Henry. No, we go right to Twins.
We go right to Twins baseball.
Are you doing color?
I mean, if they would like me in the booth, I'm happy to go down to Target Field and
I would take that assignment also. Yeah.
And I'm doing final pitch apparently. I just found that out. So I get a text message from my father, who, God bless him, I love this man so dearly, you have no idea, but he loves to worry. He loves to worry about his kids. And so I get a text message, hey, how are you getting into work today? I hear you can't get on 394 East from 100 North. And I'm thinking, well, that's news to me. I mean, I assume that the HOV entry would be open and I just go that way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, well, if that's closed, I'll just go up to 55, or, it may be better to work around Lake Street and go in that way from where I live. And that's not a big deal. I can figure that out, because, I've been driving for a few years to get to this place.
Yep.
So I kind of know the way. So I finally decide, Blois is calling in. Hang on, Blois.
Oh.
So I finally decide that I'm going to drive north on 100 just to see if that HOV is blocked off, or and then I'll go up to 55 if that's the case, right?
Sure.
No, HOV was wide open, could slide right on those HOV lanes. And again, at the time that I was coming in, there wasn't really
Not that
spit for
bad,
any kind of
yeah.
traffic on. I don't know if people have been scared off of it to a degree because of everything going on. But of course, I've been taking those HOV lanes west going home. That was the trip last night, is as I'm driving home last night, trying to get onto the HOV lanes to figure out they'd already opened up westbound 394. So I had to loop around from where I would normally get onto the HOV ramp and get onto the regular ramp. And of course, they haven't swept those 394. So all of that construction dust was there getting kicked up. I mean, it was like you were driving in fog trying to get home. It was crazy, but really wasn't I got used to the 394 west business of it, and
Yeah.
east was no big deal.
Basically, they've been using the HOV lanes as like either the eastbound or west.
Yeah, whichever one they shut down, they just put those people
Blois
in
is on the line.
HOV.
Blois, some texters are questioning your assertion that this is holiday week level traffic.
Well, I'm working, so I can tell you I'm not on holiday,
Same,
but I will
same.
tell you
There's no holidays in
various
this world.
times of my commute to St. Paul from the West Metro have felt a little lighter this week. I will just say that. Here's the drive time take on the 394 project. Too long, horrible signage. Use the signs that you put cute things up on Mondays to inform people what the hell is going on. And it's been going on so long that there are literally patches where, I hate to say it, but there's no progress for weeks. So my theory is we had to start all of these projects because of the infrastructure bill, thanks Joe Biden, and we didn't have enough labor to get the jobs done, so they're moving labor between the construction sites all over the Twin Cities.
I like the conspiratorial nature of that. I drive this area fairly often, and I agree that and you hate to be that guy, right? The like,
oh yeah,
why do you close all the lanes when it sure doesn't look like they're doing a damn thing? And like, it does look like they're not really doing a damn thing.
So I just came back down to downtown because we have to celebrate Steve Simpson.
For sure.
And they have this one lane into downtown, but the Park Place Xenia eastbound exit, you could have made like that for months, and they've had it closed for months. Seemingly also, the county has decided to shut Cedar Lake Road. So there's not an option to go that way. If I'm governor ever, coordination between county and state required. Otherwise, prison time will be happening.
I agree. And I think I feel like you and I could probably put together a pretty good platform with this, and turning the signs from the cutesy stuff. This is my one like sort of killjoy take. I hate the cutesy signs. I'm not amused. I'm not
You're
entertained.
Mr. Cutesy.
I know it's sort of counterintuitive. But I never like puns either. Like I don't care for puns, so that's part of the issue with me. I think
you're just not very funny sometimes.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. Thanks, Blois.
I've been accused of being allergic to fun, so that's why we're a good combination.
Exactly. Thank you, Blois. Blois Olson. Drive time construction take. Why not? Texters with some. I want your construction takes. I have plenty of other stuff. I actually have an ethical conundrum for you guys when we come back. But in the meantime, your takes. Road construction should happen 24 hours a day until the project is complete. No exceptions. Another texter. First off, it's not a holiday week. The 4th was last week. But the 4th was on Saturday. You get to pick your week, I think. Traffic is lower, in my view. And that is based purely on vibes. Like I have no evidence to support that. I don't have do you think I'm a traffic counter? Like I've got a volume? I don't know. I'm just saying what it feels like. Texture says, bleep the West Metro. Have you tried to move through St. Paul or anywhere in St. Paul without doubling your drive time? Very good point. This texter says that the Highway 280 closure may be more significant. Highway 280 closure is a pain in the butt. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Texter, have you guys seen Rice Street? It looks like a bomb went off. I drove across it the other day. The entire street is closed. All the businesses have to be suffering. Well, I was thinking about this yesterday. I drove up to Maplewood to go to the grocery store. And driving out of downtown Minneapolis, just like onto 94 near US Bank Stadium, I thought my front left tire was going to fall off the vehicle. It was that intense of a pothole out there. All right, let's break. Jonathan is on hold. We'll get to you in a minute. Your construction takes. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Well, if you can get your car to Edina, which shouldn't be that hard, no major construction challenges in the area of the Galleria, you've got to get to J.H. and Sons. It's Jason for my favorite place to go shopping for men's clothing. It's premium men's clothing right in the heart of the Midwest. J.H. and Sons is the culmination of decades and decades of the Halberstadt family making men look great, making women love their guys a little bit more, and giving you that confidence to go out and win the day. So weddings, it's a big part of it at J.H. and Sons. And if you've got a wedding on a calendar, get right with your look. Get yourself to J.H. and Sons. Get a new suit. Feel confident. Feel like the king of the dance floor. Why not? Maybe you're going back to the office when fall comes around. Why not go back with the swagger that comes with a new suit? Now, maybe you're like me. You're going on vacation. I'm going to Mexico City in 2 weeks, and I got a full vacation capsule wardrobe that they helped me put together. The difference at J.H. and Sons is the service. They will take care of you like you're part of their family. Bryce, Chuck, Dean, Alicia, these men and women have been taking care of men in Minnesota for decades. Go experience that difference at J.H. and Sons at the Galleria. You can sign up for their VIP email list. That is at jhandsons.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
The words they used were confusing, intimidating, overwhelming, taking over the world.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Frequent listeners of the show know it's time for Jonathan from Minneapolis when you hear that song. Jonathan, thank you for calling. Happy Wednesday, and give me your construction take. Is Jonathan...
Should be there.
Well, he took a moment. You know, these breaks. There, oh, I think...
Are you there? Can you hear me?
We got you. We got you. You're on.
Okay, sorry. I was on mute. Sorry. I have a very cute story about that theme song. So Sunday after the Taste of Minnesota, after all that was over, I was exhausted. I just wanted to go out to the Mall of America. Well, I'm on the not on the light rail, on the buses, right? Now, with that being said, my phone has that ringtone that you play at the beginning.
The song, right?
Right. And I'm sitting there and I'm minding my own business. This lady taps me on my shoulder. She goes, Excuse me, is your name Jonathan? I kid you not, Jason.
She knew you by your theme song. Amazing.
Kid you not, I looked and I smiled and I said yes. She goes, "You're fantastic on that show." And I was like, "Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening," right? So that's the part where I kind of smiled. And I have to say thank you because that was one of my highlights of my weekend.
That's
now, with that being said, okay, dear Metro Transit, oh my God. The bus system that you put in place for the light rail construction is god awful.
The blue line is closed as they fix that up, but now we've got buses, right, until August 20th.
Oh, no, it gets worse. It stops at every in-between spot in between downtown and in the Mall of America.
Oh.
I kid you not. Yeah. I literally looked at the driver and said, "Just drive."
Yeah.
I mean, honest to goodness, I don't know what can be done about the traffic in this city. And if somebody who is listening at the headquarters of the people of the government, please speed up the traffic lights in downtown Minneapolis. That would save a whole lot of trouble.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Very true.
Don't you think?
I do think so. Thank you, Jonathan. I think that's right. That part of the timing of the lights are all sort of screwed up because the train isn't running and everything's sort of messed up. I think Jonathan's onto something there about maybe recalibrating those lights. One texter asked, "Can I complain about both the condition of the roads and road construction?"
It's Minnesota. Absolutely, you may.
I think yes. Yeah, for sure. For sure. You're allowed. Andrew, though, says, "Why do people deal with all this car nonsense? Why don't they just use Metro Transit? It gets you where you need. It's a fraction of the price. Oh, you're so impatient. You can't wait 15 minutes for a bus." Andrew has no sympathy for your construction woes. I will say this, living in downtown St. Paul, I would love to take the Green Line here to work because it lets you off right at City Hall right here. And
every 5 feet before that.
The ride from downtown St. Paul, where I would get on the train, to here is 50 minutes. No.
I used to take the bus into work from St. Louis Park all the time.
Yes, you're a big bus guy.
And that was prior to the pandemic. The pandemic, sort of wrecked that to a great degree. And I tried it, I think, once after that. But during the pandemic, I got so used to being able to drive in that, my drive, even with this construction, my drive is maybe 15 minutes. The bus is 40. And now if I want to go someplace after work or before work, I've got to adjust all of that to deal with the bus and then get home and then get the car and then go where I need to go. That convenience factor. This city, this metro area is just not dense enough to really make the bus super effective for many of us that live out in the suburbs. It just isn't. So
Blois asks via text, if 280 isn't done by the state fair,
we riot.
He suggested impeach.
You can do both.
Texter, traffic is just getting so bad with all the construction. Dan, it's so bad, I swear I just saw Jason strolling Highway 55 in his suit, giving up on driving altogether.
Was that where we got you? Was that where you got out of the car? Which one was that again? Where were you when we were?
That callback to me
is fantastic, by the way.
I was in where was I? Way out in the western suburbs. It was all I remember is it was the hometown. I was like in Wright County. I was in Buffalo, Minnesota. I remember this because Amy Fredrickson, formerly Amy Koch, that was her town. And I was getting recognized left and right just walking up and down the highway.
Right. So I think somebody called into Chad's show.
That they saw me.
And said, "Hey, I think I just passed Jason DeRusha walking on the side of the road." And then we called you, I think is how that went.
Texter.
You're getting like some car service or something?
The texter is correct, saying I was getting my remote start installed.
There you go. Just decided to go for a stroll along the highway like you do.
Well, it was going to take an hour and a half or an hour or whatever to install the remote start. So there was this Mexican restaurant that I wanted to check out in Buffalo. So I was like, I'm just going to walk on over.
Sure.
I didn't realize it was going to become a bit, but I'm delighted that it did.
It worked out well for us.
Removing all these stupid white pylon barrier things would help allow traffic to flow, but they don't want it because they don't want the single occupancy vehicles on the road. So that's like in the HOV lane, you have like some of those pylons. I don't know. I don't have a huge problem with, the fact they can shift traffic onto the HOV, kind of protected HOV lanes is good. The challenge is that it was like 4 or 5 lanes of traffic that's being squeezed into 2 lanes, right?
It was 3, but yeah,
there was 100 lanes of traffic.
So yeah, and people are obviously taking other ways around because they don't want it, they don't want that kind of compression to have to deal with. I get it. It would have been obviously a lot worse if you
just shut it down.
The 6-lane freeway and reduced it to, 2 lanes one way, 1 lane the other way. If they didn't have the HOV to work with, it's not the problem with the way it works with the HOV is that it's difficult to access. It's difficult to get there.
Yeah.
In a lot of spots. So,
and a lot of the exits are closed.
Yes.
Like my pen.
So it's difficult
exit.
to get out where you need to go.
Right.
So,
I'm going to lay out my scenario that happened to me. And you can text in and tell me what you would do or send me a voice message on the Odyssey app. Because in a minute, we're going to have a guest to talk a little bit about the glow up that nuclear power has had here in Minnesota and around the world. I find it very interesting that Republicans and Democrats appear open to restarting construction of nuclear power in Minnesota. And I like it. I'm a nuclear power fan. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But here's what I want you to tell me. What would you have done? What would you have done? Last night, Alyssa and I are at the Cub. We're checking out. I, of course, did not go to the self-checkout. I went to the regular cashier. When we emptied our cart, the cashier checked everything out. We're bagging the groceries. We paid. As we're bagging the groceries, we realized there was an English cucumber still in the grocery cart. What do you do in that moment? 651-461-9226. Your texts are welcome. Your voice message responds to that. On the Odyssey app, right where you listen live to Drive Time with DeRusha, right where you can subscribe to our podcast, click on the microphone, send me a message. What do you do when you've already paid and you realize you have one cucumber still in your cart? Nuclear power is what we're talking about next. Drive Time with DeRusha here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Randy's Electric wants to be your first call when you have an oh no moment. It's Jason here for locally owned, awesome people at Randy's Electric. Call Randys.com. You know those oh no moments, and nobody wants to think about them, right? Because when you're dealing with your plumbing and you got a backed up toilet or you got a drain that's gurgling or maybe just in your shower, let me tell you about one of my oh no moments because, both my kids are out of town. But when you have 2 teenage boys, sometimes you're like, what's going on here? Why? The shower doesn't drain. The sink doesn't drain. I bet it's worth with teenage girls. You have the oh no moment. Call Randy's. Call Randys.com. They've got same-day repairs, licensed professionals, honest pricing too. I love that they're going to give you all that information up front before they start doing work. When you get a technician on the way in that same-day repair, so often when you got an electrical crisis or a plumbing crisis, you need help now. Randy's does 2-hour repairs. How about that? And they'll text you before that technician is on the way. They're giving you 2-hour alert windows, too, so you know help is coming. When that oh no moment hits your home, do not panic. Call Randy's Electric and Plumbing.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Maybe you've been thinking about selling your home, but all the work that goes into it, adding too much stress to make it worth it. My buddy John Schuster has options that can make home selling the easiest thing you'll ever do. It's Vanita. John and Kathleen didn't want to be inconvenienced by open houses. They didn't want to have to spend weeks getting their home into order either. They heard me telling you that the John Schuster Group Coldwell Banker Realty will sell homes off market and knew they needed to give the Good Neighbor agent a call. When John gets you an off-market sale, he still makes sure your home will sell for its full market value and on the timeline that you need. John and Kathleen didn't have to deal with the hassle of showings. They didn't have to spend thousands of dollars on expensive repairs. They couldn't have had a simpler home selling experience. Are you curious what your home is worth? Learn what it's worth in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Hey, good neighbors. Henry Lake of the Lake Show here to tell you about some summertime fun I want you to have with me that supports a good cause. Giving back to our community, as you know, is a big deal for me. And now my partnership with Minnesota's best ice cream
Professor,
makers,
you got us okay?
Sebastian Joe's, has
Yes.
gotten better.
Do you hear me?
We've created
Loud
a
and
new
clear, sir.
flavor.
Thank you so much for doing it.
It's
We
called the
appreciate
Henry Lake Project and will be available at all Sebastian Joe's locations June 23rd through Labor
Just wrapping up a
Day.
traffic
And the
and weather
proceeds
hit
from the
here.
Henry
We'll be
Lake
with you in just
Project
a couple
will go to a phenomenal nonprofit, Project Success. Project Success motivates and inspires young people to dream about the future, helps them take steps to get there, and gives them the tools that they need to achieve their goals. Since 1994, Project Success has worked with over 225,000 students and counting. There is nothing better this summer than Sebastian Joe's ice cream that goes towards a great cause in our state. Learn more about the work that they do by going to projectsuccess.org. Buy a pint or two of the Henry Lake Project today.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Still got the crash off to the right side of South 100 as you make way towards Cedar Lake Road. Get ready for your slowdowns past 394. South 35 East, still congested as you move down from Victoria Street towards Shepherd Road. Tack another 15 on the ride there. East 94, not too bad as you head into St. Paul with minor slowing as you approach Western Avenue. And 694 westbound, getting word of a crash there as you make way toward Lexington. Traffic is already a bit slow in both directions. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you're serious about updating your home's exterior, this is the free event for you. Come see JTR Roofing, Certainty, and SRS Building Supply at Canterbury Park Expo Center, July 24th and 25th. Don't miss out. See you at Canterbury.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
JTR Roofing bringing us the weather forecast. Some severe thunderstorm watches in effect. More in the southern metro. Pretty dry here. Here is Chris Schaefer.
We'll be taking a break, an extended break from any rainfall. Mostly cloudy overnight tonight as we fall back to about 68. Partly cloudy, 85 tomorrow. Not as humid. Soak in the drier air. It will get muggy again by the weekend. Sunshine on Friday with a high of 87. Highs will be in the 90s Saturday and Sunday and stay there early next week.
Red Wing, Faribault, Northfield, you're getting some rain into the south. Otherwise, it's 79 and, as Chris said, humid here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
It's so bold. It's adventurous. It's edgy. You know, it's
risky.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Nuclear power. Nuclear power has had a bit of a glow up. There was a time where visions of Chernobyl, concerns about storing spent nuclear waste. Minnesota has had a moratorium on new nuclear power plants for more than 30 years now. But all of the candidates for governor have expressed, to different degrees, an openness to changing that, which is really remarkable. And I wanted to get some insight as to why nuclear power is much more palatable today. I've always thought that the environmental benefits of having a zero greenhouse gas emission power source and a reliable power source like nuclear was worth the trade-offs. But the trade-offs are pretty significant, trying to figure out where to put this spent nuclear waste. So to get that insight, we're turning to Professor James Coleman for the University of Minnesota. He is a professor of energy law and an expert in nuclear. Professor, thanks for being with us.
Thanks. It's great to be here talking with you.
What do you think the main reason for the glow up, for the positivity and the openness to nuclear plants in Minnesota? What is this about?
Well, I think it's about two main things. One is a focus on reducing our carbon emissions. And so I think that has simply grown over time. And I think that has made people take a second look at nuclear energy if they're coming from a green or environmental perspective, looking to get us to a zero carbon energy system. I think most models would suggest if you want to have zero carbon, you're going to need nuclear as part of that. And then I think the second big thing that's moving things is that for decades, we've had stagnant energy use. So there hasn't been that much need for big new sources of energy. We've added a lot of solar and wind to the grid, et cetera. And that helps, us retire maybe older plants, but there hasn't been a need for really big, massive new sources of energy. But we've seen an increased demand for electricity. Part of it is data centers, but there's also other parts of it like electrification, electric vehicles, et cetera. And so I think that's creating more interest in nuclear. Okay, maybe we need some big new sources. And if we want those to be carbon-free sources, then you're often talking about nuclear.
Is there a sense that we're never going to quite get there with wind and solar, that it's just not enough for the energy demands that we have?
Well, yeah, we are getting to a little bit more difficult place. There is certainly an abundance of wind and solar, and we've added a huge amount of that to the grid. And that's really true across the country. And we found ways to add even maybe more than we expected in the past, because we've been able to find ways to manage the problems that solar and wind create in terms of, you can't decide when they go on and off, and the grid has to always exactly balance how much power is being used by millions of users every time they flip on their light switch or turn up their electric heat or their air conditioning with what is being provided by those plants. So that's always been known to be a problem. We found ways to manage it to some extent, but we've kind of added some of the easiest solar and wind to the grid. It's going to get more challenging as we want to say, okay, it's not enough to just have 20% of our electricity come from these renewable sources. We want 100% to come from zero carbon sources. That's where nuclear becomes a big part of the conversation.
James Coleman is with us from the University of Minnesota School of Law. So there are trade-offs here, right? I mean, I think we can argue about whether the environmental concerns with dealing with the waste are overblown or the safety concerns are overblown, but they are real issues to be grappled with, right?
Yeah, I think there are a number of issues. I would say that the one that's been the biggest challenge for nuclear power in the United States has simply been cost. So if you honestly, we have over the last 20 years basically been adding three kinds of power sources to the grid. We've been adding wind power, solar power, and natural gas. And that is, although we've seen rising electricity prices recently, if you look at a global comparative perspective, we have pretty cheap electricity here in the United States. We're relatively fortunate. And so you can build a pretty low cost system out of basically solar and wind when they're available and natural gas to back up that solar and wind when it's not available. The challenge is that that is not a zero carbon system because you have a bunch of natural gas. So if your goal is I want zero carbon, then you need to find some big other sources that can run when the sun isn't available, when that wind isn't available. And that's where nuclear really steps in.
The politics of this are quite interesting as well. And we've seen the Trump administration has really stepped on the gas with the idea of saying, like, let's get new nuclear power plants online. But the Biden administration was also saying, if we're going to meet the energy demands, which I think I've read were 15 to 20% more than the energy that we need today, for the reasons you expressed, that, to have the Biden administration and the Trump administration both saying, like, nuclear probably needs to be a part of the equation. We're seeing that play out even in the governor's race here in Minnesota, where Lisa Dameth, the Republican, has been very outspoken about the need for nuclear. And Amy Klobuchar, the DFL candidate, also has said, she's like, I'm not 100% sold, but I'm very open to this nuclear conversation. You would have never guessed this even 5 years ago, that we would be looking at both Democrats and Republicans saying we probably need some of this.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think, what's changed, even if you go back to President Obama, he proposed a clean electricity standard that would have given some credit to nuclear. But I think what has changed to some extent is the urgency of the question. And so what you see is not that politicians are saying, well, in theory, I'm in favor of this, but really, let me step in and address what the permitting challenges are. Let me address the financial challenges. Let me do what it takes to ensure we actually get some more nuclear on the grid, really, because for the most part, we haven't had any nuclear power plants added since the early 90s. And so nuclear as a percentage of our electricity production has basically stagnated. So, if you divide U.S. electricity production into fifths, you get 2/5 from your biggest source, which is natural gas. Then you get another fifth from coal. And then you get a fifth from nuclear, and that's just been stagnant. And then a fifth from renewables, and that's going up. But I think, you take 3/5 there, they're all from carbon-based fuels. So if you want to reduce our carbon emissions, if you're concerned about climate change, you need to have something to fill that gap, and it won't just all be renewables.
Do you think that people have gotten over sort of, I think we're both probably around the same age, that vivid memory of Chernobyl was, I think, a lingering political reality that nobody wanted the next Chernobyl in their backyard. Do you think it's different today, that maybe people can see, like, you know what, it would be good for Minnesota to lead the way in the next generation of safe nuclear power?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a generational story here. And, in reality, if you look at some of the biggest environmental groups, one of the things that they sort of grew up in opposition to were nuclear power and hydropower. And, it's changed a little bit because as people have said, well, wait a second, now our number one environmental issue is, we still maybe have concerns about those, but if our number one issue is climate change, well, those are sources of zero carbon energy. And so, maybe we need to take another look at those. And I think, there's a difference between, what sort of maybe the person on the street or the students that I get. I agree with you. Like the sort of generation coming in, they're often much more excited about nuclear power. And then, those environmental groups, it might take a little bit longer because keep in mind, often that older generation, they're often the people who are, maybe running, maybe big donors, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so
the activists who are going to be at the meetings who are saying, I don't want this.
You can't change everything on a dime. And so I think it's been a slow process, but I think what you're seeing now is it work its way into, even the Democratic Party. I think many Democratic party members having a more positive view of nuclear power.
There's no perfect power source, right? Like there are always trade-offs. And if you are concerned about climate change, then this is what you look at. If your number one concern is where are you going to store this stuff? Well, we still don't have great solutions to the storage issue, do we?
No, we don't. And I think that's both true and an important issue. But I also think it's important to note that this is the way humanity is. If you asked us to fully figure out how we're going to decommission every part of every industry we build before we started it, we'd never build anything. And I think, look, wind turbines, it's a challenge. Like, how do we dispose of these blades? They're not. You can't really. We've had problems with trying to recycle them, et cetera. It's a big challenge. And so I think. But that doesn't necessarily change the sort of economic or health case for nuclear. I always think there's a site called Our World in Data, which basically just provides sort of public data on all these. And of course, they're relying on hundreds of studies, and those studies may, there's probably disagreement among those studies. But they would say, solar is probably our safest source. It's very difficult to get killed with solar power, and nuclear is right behind there. Even safer than wind. That has, there's definitely height problems, right? That it can be dangerous to work on those projects. Whereas, the biggest health problem that we typically have from our electricity system is from air pollution. It's not even just from climate change. It's the air pollution associated with, coal power plants, et cetera. And so, I think from that perspective, nuclear power, this is why, like, from an engineer's perspective, if you're trying to, get the most power, the maximum safety, you would often look at nuclear as a good potential solution.
Really great stuff, really great insight. It's fascinating to watch how public opinion shifts as priorities change and our needs change. And that's just smart. Like, it's nice to see areas of our world where people are changing their mind based on the world changing. People seem so locked into what they think about everything, James.
I think that's exactly right.
James Coleman for the University of Minnesota, a School of Law, professor of energy. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for being with us, James.
Thank you so much. Wonderful talking with you.
All right. Really interesting stuff. 4:48. We're going to break in a minute. The ethical challenge that I shared earlier. So many texts coming in about my cucumber in the cart. You already paid for your groceries. And you realize you got one thing left in the cart. What do? I'll share your thoughts and tell you what I did when we come back. 651-461-9226.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizzy.com or 1-866-SKY-RIZZY.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Westbound 694 to Lexington Avenue, crash on the left shoulder. Down the last vehicle being cleared out of the way for you, but in the meantime, get ready for your slowdowns in the area in both directions. Watching 35 east southbound, still running at about 15 minutes extra on your ride. Come down from Victoria Street toward the work zone near West 7th Street. South 100 near Cedar Lake Road, accident off to the right shoulder. Looks like they're getting ready to clear out of the way, but get ready for your slowdowns past 394. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
I love this time of year, and so do your Minnesota pork farmers. Pork turns up the flavor at every backyard hang. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com has recipes galore. Get to the butcher shop and grocery store, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Minnesota pork. Great people bringing us the weather forecast tonight. Mostly cloudy, 68. Tomorrow, 85. Friday, 87. Gets in the 90s by Saturday, and by Sunday, we're all melting. No rain, at least. So there's a break in that. Right now, it's 80 on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha, where the conversation's always in drive. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So it's a scenario, many of us have been in this spot, right? You're at the grocery store. You've checked out, you've paid, you're bagging your groceries, and you look in your cart and there's one thing and you're like, oh no, I did not pay for my English cucumber. That was, and you know the English cucumber, the one that's like long and skinny and like wrapped in plastic? That was the leftover item. And you have that moment, like my wife held it up, where you think, should we put that in the bag and go along with our day? They were checking out there were a couple people in line. There was someone else being checked out. What do? Tons of tax, Dan. Tons of tax.
Yes, very relatable. We've all been in this situation.
Pay for the English cucumber and have peace of mind. Another texter. I pay for it because I'm not a thief. Another one, you tell the cashier about it and pay for it. They may very well just say to forget it and take it with you. Another texter, you stole the cucumber, right? Explains the kind of guy you are.
Yeah.
Depriving your kids of fireworks. Another texter says, take the cucumber, leave the cannoli.
Hey-o.
Another texter says you do the only right thing to do. You pay for the stray cucumber. Dan Cook, what do you do?
I'm a rule follower by nature. So what I'm gonna do is, one of the texters said, I'm gonna make the move of, hey, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring this up. It's a cucumber. The cashier is gonna, like, it's so much of a hassle to do this because I'm already on to this next customer. Just go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hope that scenario plays out. Now that's if you're in your actual human being line, which I never use. I always use self-checkout, in which case it just goes in the bag and on with our lives.
In the self-checkout, there are no rules.
Right. It's lawlessness. Just take it and go. If it's anything that's less than like $5, the grocery store doesn't care.
Well, I'm sure the grocery store doesn't care, but like that, if you're the cashier, what are you supposed to do when someone says like, well,
You say, I don't really want to interrupt the flow of this whole thing. I just want to get on with my life. Thank you for being honest, but go ahead and take your cucumber and get the heck out of here.
so another texter says you've been overcharged for something in the past, just leave. It all evens out in the end.
Seems an awfully
I don't know that it
optimistic
does.
isn't the word. There's some sort of justification going on there.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure I jive with.
Texter says it might be Catholic guilt. I would never not pay. I thought about it. I thought about it for a minute. And I can tell you, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, from looking at my credit card app, that it cost $3.49. And I of course did. I just said to the cashier, I'm like, oh man, like I forgot to take this out.
What'd they say?
She said, just hang on a minute, finish
Okay.
the guy. And then
All right.
she didn't make me get back in line or anything.
No, but I mean, you got to do it. Now, you said you were with the wife.
Yep.
With Alyssa.
Yes. Oh.
Would you have done something different had your wife not been standing right there with you?
I would have felt guilty.
That's not an answer to my question. Would you have done something different?
Actually, no, I would have paid for it. Give the next person in line $5 and put it on their bill. That would have been good. Drive time, Continental Diamond Time, 457.
Mark Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners.
We look at things differently. Not that growth isn't important, but what's even more important is the protection, the preservation.
Listen Saturday at 11 on WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $109 air conditioner tune-up. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Our mission is to provide our clients with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Find out if it makes sense for us to work together at 651-204-3000. Again, that's 651-204-3000.
Midwest Money Management, 17316 Kenyon Avenue, Suite 104, Lakeville, Minnesota. Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc. Midwest Money Management and JWC/JWCA are unaffiliated entities. Paid for by Minnesota Real Estate Team.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps. This is News Talk 830 WCCO, 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. military launched more strikes in Iran. President Trump ordering another round, he says, after Iran shot at ships yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump says the memo of understanding is now over. ABC's Selena Wang has more.
When it comes to Iran, the president has been sending a lot of mixed messaging on this as well. The president had just weeks ago called the Iranian people he was negotiating with strong, rational, now calling them scum, sick people. The president saying what changed is that he got to know them.
Iranian state media reporting strikes along Iran's southern coastal port town of Chabahar, including a pier hit and police station and control tower. The president also met with Ukraine's President Zelensky in Turkey along the NATO sidelines about the war in Russia, making a commitment, he says, to help Ukraine make Patriot air defense missiles, something Ukraine's leader has been requesting. Immigrant rights groups are demanding an independent investigation after Tuesday's fatal shooting of a Mexican national in Houston. ICE agents are calling the shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo self-defense. Here's ABC's John Quinones.
ICE claims the man was evading arrest and that his car ran into another ICE vehicle. Araujo's family, though, says he was simply on his way to work. He was a construction worker. He was on his way to pick up some workers, and that he had spent decades in this country pursuing the American dream for his three sons. Some of them went to college. They're American-born sons.
Senate race in Maine heating up with pressure mounting for Democratic candidate Graham Plattner to drop out of the U.S. Senate race following new accusations of sexual assault.
18 Democratic senators have called for him to drop out, and that includes his two biggest allies in the Senate, Elizabeth Warren, who campaigned alongside Graham Plattner in the spring, and Bernie Sanders, who is perhaps Plattner's biggest supporter.
You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 80 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Police in Brooklyn Park announcing they have arrested a person in connection to the fatal shooting of a 16-year-old at a park last Sunday. They say they have arrested a 17-year-old and have also recovered the weapon believed to have been involved. Minneapolis police on the scene of a shooting that has left one person in critical condition.
Police were called to a home near 36th and Fremont Avenue North about 2 o'clock this afternoon. They found a person in the living room who'd been shot, those injuries described as potentially life-threatening. So far, no arrests have been made, but police say investigators are working to learn more about what led up to that shooting, including whether or not it may have been accidental. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Somali leaders in Minnesota calling for an end to inflammatory rhetoric from President Donald Trump.
Community advocates gathered to speak out against what they call the political targeting of Somali children after President Trump reshared a photo on Truth Social featuring a kindergarten graduation at Gateway STEM Academy in St. Paul. The post was from a right-wing account criticizing the girls in the photo for wearing hijabs. Executive Director of the Islamic Association of North America, Imam Abdullah.
It has to stop. People who are saying these things has to be held accountable. Nobody is beyond accountability, including our president.
Leaders also responded to a call from Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher to crack down on Somali gang activity, stating that characterizing crime strictly as a Somali problem furthers the discrimination they face. In Minneapolis along Lake Street, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says the state stands ready to help communities recover and rebuild after a tornado hit north of Detroit Lakes this week. 3 people were injured when winds of more than 115 miles per hour damaged homes and took down trees. Dozens of Northside Minneapolis community members showing up today to voice their opposition to a proposed drone pilot program in their neighborhood. The program would allow the Minneapolis Police Department to launch a drone immediately after a 911 call to survey the scene before first responders arrive. But many in the community have grave concerns.
I'm here to ask you to vote no on the Skydio drone proposal because it will actively endanger our community rather than protect us.
Ward 4 Council member Latricia Vitaw says given the shortage of police officers, drones could be used to help respond to lower priority crimes.
People are upset because police officers can't get to these low priority calls because the number of officers is, it's growing certainly. And I appreciate all of the work that's going into recruitment, but we're not there. And it's becoming embarrassing for me to keep using that as a reason why.
The measure passed out of committee and will be considered next at the July 22nd full city council meeting. WCCO News Time is 5:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
694 eastbound to Lexington crash has been taken care of. Traffic on the moderate side, speeds for the most part near the post. You will find some slowing those who travel West 694 Central, though, we're high 100. South 100, Cedar Lake Road, still waiting for that crash to clear. Traffic remains slow through there. Traveling 394, that's running smoothly, both directions, actually, as you move between 100 and 994. South 35 East, so right around that 15-minute delay mark. Victoria down to West 7th Street. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
All the rain finally clears out, leaving us mostly cloudy overnight. 68 will be the low. Not quite as humid tomorrow. That will feel nice. We'll get some sunshine back with a high in the mid-80s up to 87 with plenty of sunshine on Friday. Should warm into the 90s by this weekend.
Cloudy right now, 80 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota's meeting spot to hear what's going on. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, Drive Time, Hour 3. Glad to have you with us on this Wednesday afternoon. We are 30 minutes away from you getting all of your major complaints.
Shut up and drive.
And more entertainingly, your minor complaints off your chest. We call it enough. So load it up. Whatever you got to get off your chest, we want to hear it. And frankly, if you don't have the time to wait until 5:30 when we do that segment, voice message, Odyssey app, great way you can send a message into the station, into our studio, and we play that recording back on the air. So you just go to the Odyssey app right where you're listening live to WCCO, and you click on the microphone. Boom, 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 and you're in business. I want to start this hour with a little bit of fun, because there is a chance that a fellow Minnesotan could be officially named a saint. A saint. The case for Minnesota's first saint advances to the Vatican is the headline in the Twin Cities Pioneer Press. My question to you, wrong answers only. Who should be Minnesota's first saint? 651-461-9226. When you think of saints and Minnesota, who comes to mind?
I think there's one obvious answer that
a right answer or a wrong?
No, this would be a wrong answer, of course.
Okay, yeah.
But it's the right wrong answer.
All right. The number one Dan Cook wrong answer for saint would be
Joe Mauer. I mean, are you kidding me? Baby Jesus? Come on.
How is Joe not a saint? How is he not a saint?
You've got me. I have no idea.
Joe Mauer is a very good answer. Very good answer. Now, the correct answer, and already we have 5 people texting in, Mary Jo Copeland. Mary Jo Copeland. I mean,
That's more of a right answer than a wrong answer.
I don't know what skeletons are in her closet. Wouldn't it be something if Mary Jo Copeland just turned out to
No,
be?
don't.
I mean,
no.
I don't know. Who can you trust nowadays? Who can you trust?
Please let it be Mary Jo. Don't ruin that.
Wouldn't that be awful?
It would be the worst.
Who would be? She would probably be the least likely Minnesotan to be like.
I sure hope so.
Oh, Mary Jo Copeland accused.
You hear what happened
Next
there?
thing you know, you're on Politico, and it's some takedown. Let's go to John in Apple Valley. John, your nomination. We're going to send these all off to the Pope. He's a Chicagoan, so I think he'd be more open to a Minnesota submission. Who do you think?
I was going to say he probably knows this guy too. I would say, how do we not have Sid Hartman be the first saint from Minnesota?
Right. That's right. And I do know that Sid actually was a very close personal friend of JP, not Jerry Peterson, the Pope, John Paul. And, Vatican II, I think Sid had a hand in it. He was consulted.
I think he had a hand in building the Vatican.
JP2 and Sid were tight. I think Sid's a very good answer. And maybe we could get Chad on and he could tell us why it's a very wrong answer. That would be part of the equation too. Very good. Thank you, John. Sid, solid. Pat Royce, solid. St. Pat has a ring to it. Think there's ever been a St. Patrick before? I like it.
No, has there ever been a St. Pat? It's not like we named a day after a St. Patrick or anything. Pat would be great. Pat would be great. I remember when Pat found out that I was in seminary. He found out he was covering the Maple Grove football team and having a conversation with my brother. And somehow my brother decided to mention that. And he's like, seriously? He's in seminary? Oh, man, I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have sworn so much around him. Pat's the greatest.
Minnesota's first saint candidate. Now, if you're watching on our live stream on YouTube at the WCCO radio channel or on the Facebook, WCCO radio Facebook page, I am currently showing I'm going to guess this is a drawing. Might be a photo.
That looks like a photograph to me.
Joseph B-U-H. Joseph B. A Slovenian immigrant has been sort of nominated by the Diocese of Duluth.
I'm not sure if you'd asked me to name him as a Slovenian immigrant, I would have come up with it. But now that you mention it, absolutely.
His look is quite Slovenian.
Very monkish.
In Duluth, he was a union founder, the editor of an immigrant newspaper. He spoke 7 languages. He was a missionary. We'll see. The United States has only had 12 saints. So will he be canonized? It's pronounced boo, I'm told. We'll see. 11 of 10,000 saints recognized by the Catholic Church have come for the United States. Now, we know that the world and big church, that they're biased against America. But it's also possible that, we haven't been around that long. It's possible that that's why there haven't been that many American. But I like to believe that, once again, everybody, they hate us because they hate us. Now, I didn't know all about, I feel like Monsignor Boo is not, it's not widely known, the story.
I had not heard of him before this story, no.
But it's quite interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He played the harmonium. He played the
course
organ. He painted portraits. He established Amerikanski Slovenak.
Bless you.
The U.S. first Slovenian newspaper. Now, I don't know about journalists becoming saints. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know. Does establishing the newspaper make you a journalist?
Well, he was the primary editor and publisher.
Does that make you a journalist?
Yeah, fair, maybe not. Now the deal is you have to have a couple of miracles, right? Isn't that the bit?
Verifiable ones, yeah.
And so, did they say in the story what his miracles?
I didn't see that. No.
So after the first miracle, you would be beatified.
Right. After they'd verify.
So that's pretty good. 1 miracle, pretty good.
That's a step.
2 miracles, you need the, then you're in. Then you're the saint. But pretty hard. Because they investigated. It has to be a confirmed miracle. So I don't know that all of that was laid out in this. 651-461-9226. Marjorie Johnson, the blue ribbon baking
Again, that's probably
Queen.
closer to a right answer than a wrong answer, as you asked for wrong answers only. But
I don't know. When you think, I am highly amused at the thought of some giant expose coming out, and that Mary
Why do
Jo
you have to-
Copeland and
we have these wonderful people from the state of Minnesota who are,
Marjorie Johnson,
bless their hearts, are the salt of the earth.
we're just running some sort
And
of
you
like
got to go digging
mob.
around in a closet.
Maybe the Minnesota mob, instead of being so focused on Al
man.
Capone, maybe it was run by Marjorie Johnson. I don't know. Other wrong answers. Texter says Brian O'Hara. Brian O'Hara, the now former police chief of Minneapolis, is probably not getting into the sainthood. Probably not.
That would qualify as a solid wrong answer, yes.
Not looking great. Ann is in Richfield at 651-461-9226. Ann, do you have a wrong or a right answer for Minnesota sainthood?
Well, I don't know. You decide. Because I think this person could even qualify as a martyr with who he puts up with. But what about Pete Hegseth?
Oh, interesting. Because the gut
Isn't he from
reaction,
Minnesota?
yes, he's one of us. His dad, I had his dad on the show, and then took probably months of criticism after Mr. Hegseth did some Hegsethian things.
Well, I think he's top of the list for wrong answer.
Yeah, putting up
A
with
Minnesotan.
I think so. Thanks, Ann. That's pretty good. It's a good answer, though.
He's also a Protestant, which means sainthood is probably very unlikely in the Catholic Church. But but again, that adds into the
wrongness
of it for sure.
Dark Stars, says a text.
Oh my, that's a
Dan-
fantastic wrong answer.
Dan worked with Dark
for many, many years.
Dick Enrico, the patron saint of secondhand
Sure.
sporting goods. Imagine the petition going in front of the Pope that tries to explain why buy new when secondhand will do, except when the deals are this good. When you're trying to explain that, even the American Pope Leo is going to be like, I'm not sure I follow. Dan is in Blaine. Dan, who are you putting up for sainthood, Dan?
Jennifer Carnahan and the guy that's in prison for having the underage girls come up to his place.
Anton Lazaro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top of the bad list.
What about the tarantula tosser? What about that Simonetti, Marissa Simonetti? She could be in the equation as well. These are very good.
Yeah, but I liked the Hegseth one though too. What a warmonger. Yeah, definitely. But Carnahan's on the top of my list.
Carnahan, pretty good. Thanks, Dan. The people have very good choices. Tom Patters, Denny Hecker, fair number of Mike Lindell, one texter calling him Saint Pillow Guy. Couple Denny Hecker and Tom Patters. That's a pretty deep poll, right? Did I tell you about, I had a Volkswagen from Denny Hecker Volkswagen.
No, did you really?
And back when Denny got sent to the Hooskow,
Sneezer,
I was doing the Good Questions segment at the time, and one of our Channel 4 viewers emailed in asking if there was a way they could get the Denny Hecker sticker off the back of their car. And there was a local auto body shop right here in downtown Minneapolis that I called up, and I'm like, hey, I have a Denny Hecker Volkswagen. Like, can you get the sticker off? And they said, sure. So we brought the camera over, and they used what looked like, it was like you put it on a sander, but it looked like a giant eraser, and just took the thing right off. And they offered to do it for free for any of our viewers with the Denny Hecker.
Of course they did.
Pretty good. All right, DriveTime going to take a break. I want to talk about the Emmys. The Emmy Awards coming out today. Don't forget, we're about 15 minutes away from enough. Whatever you've had enough of, keep it coming. You can text it at 651-461-9226 with a voice message. The voice message feature on the Odyssey app, you could use that too. Drive Time back in a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
I want you to feel like yourself again. It's Jason here for Livia Weight Control Centers. You know that Livia absolutely changed my life. Livia is known for weight loss, right? They helped me lose 45 pounds and keep that weight off now for 4 years. It's been amazing. But the biggest benefit I received from losing that weight is more energy, better sleep, better overall health. I feel my best. I feel more confident. And Livia keeps evolving. And as I was talking to the team over there, I discovered there's so much about Livia I just didn't know. If you want to see what I'm talking about, get to Livia, LIVEA.com, because we know the weight loss, we know the keeping it off. But did you know that you could go there for medical weight management? You could go to Livia for GLP-1 support. You could go for an examination of your hormone health. That's such a hot topic right now when it comes to fitness and wellness. Yeah, they got a hormone health program at Livia, a variety of wellness solutions and services. So whether you're looking to lose weight, improve your energy, or just feel your best, visit Livia.com today.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinner Theaters. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word, everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit ChanhassenDT.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. And tell them Jordana sent you.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
He creates a narrative that is advantageous to him. And frankly, at times it's disturbing.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
awards out today. And if you are the kind of person who only watches TV on broadcast television, once again, you looked at the Emmy Awards list and said, what in the hell is any of this stuff? It is astonishing that almost all of the Emmy-nominated TV shows are on streaming, and the number one show, can you guess? The number one Emmy Award-winning show is this.
There is an active shooter at Pitfest. As the nearest trauma center, we are going to be getting the majority of the victims. We don't know yet how many we are getting, but we are instituting hospital-wide emergency protocols. We need to move every patient out of here. They either go home, they go upstairs, or they go to family medicine.
The Pit. The Pit is a tremendous show. I think it's a great show. And that led everything. Have you guys seen The Pit? It's on, I think it's on, this is the other thing. Not too long ago, if you were talking about ER, which Noah Wiley was on ER, his work on The Pit is awesome. You knew that ER was on NBC, right? Maybe you didn't know NBC, you knew Channel 11. I don't know what anything is ever on. I have no idea. It comes out of my TV somehow. The Pit is on
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Yes.
Did you know that?
No, I looked it up.
Right.
Fortunately, your rant was long enough. I could quick Google it.
I try to be of service. So The Pit had 25 Emmy nominations. Hacks. I don't think I've ever seen Hacks. Do you know Hacks?
No.
Gene Smart is in Hacks. I don't, maybe I should put it on my list. That was in second with 24, leading all comedies. Now, the Emmys are always like one of the things that I think people don't understand about these types of awards is that you have to submit. And when you win an Emmy Award for a show, you don't like enter a compilation.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just one episode.
One episode.
Because you also have to be realistic about the judging process, right? Like, is somebody how many shows are you supposed to watch a whole season? You'd never be able to judge it. So Hacks was second. Drama series. How many of these shows have you guys seen? The Diplomat?
Nope.
The Gilded Age?
Nope.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Nope.
Paradise?
Nope.
The Pit?
Nope.
Pluribus?
Nope.
Slow Horses?
Nope.
Your Friends and Neighbors?
Nope.
I think I've seen 3 of those. Comedy series.
I've seen a lot of clips of some of them.
Yeah.
But I don't actually ever watch the shows.
I've seen more of the your Friends and Neighbors. Isn't that the isn't this like the guy, like the rich neighborhood where the guy is like it's John Hamm. He's like breaking into, he robs his rich neighbors.
Okay.
It's a pretty good bit.
Sure.
And John Hamm's
great.
Very good. Comedy series, Abbott Elementary. Now that's on ABC.
All right.
Abbott Elementary is one of those shows that critics love, and I always wonder, do regular people like it?
Did anybody actually watch
It's
the
sort
show?
of the documentary style comedy show.
Kind of like The Office.
Yeah. The Bear. Hacks.
Everybody loves The Bear.
Margot's Got Money Troubles. I've seen that. That's another OnlyFans themed show. Nobody Wants This. Only Murders in the Building. Shrinking. And Widow's Bay. Any of those for you?
No.
I've seen 4 of those. Shrinking is pretty good. Shrinking is the Harrison Ford playing a psychologist who has Parkinson's.
Mm.
And then the dude from How I Met Your Mother.
Neil Patrick Harris?
No. Other
dude?
Other dude.
Okay.
He's in it.
Jason Segel?
Jason Segel.
There you go. I got it.
If I had said the dude from the Muppet movie, would that have helped? I think, wasn't he in that?
He was. He did one of those. I'm not sure if it would have helped necessarily.
No. That's a good one. It is just, it's a sign of the times, and also a reminder that huge audience doesn't necessarily mean quality.
No.
It's the same as always been true for...
Huge audience just doesn't exist anymore, really.
Well, there are some primetime TV shows that are still getting huge audience. Now, with
Relative to like what huge audience used to mean when it came to television? No. Relative to other modes of television now, maybe. But it's not anywhere near what it was.
The biggest, let's see.
There's just too many options, right? I mean, that's like when I say no, I haven't seen all of these. I have limited streaming.
I mean, you are,
and I don't do cable at all anymore.
Now we're
no cable, no satellite.
Yeah.
So most of this stuff,
live sports
sales
gets
on
the
buy.
biggest audience,
Always,
right?
yes, always.
And then, I mean, frankly, like because we're in the summer, do you know what the number 3 most watched TV show was?
I sure don't.
ABC World News Tonight, Monday.
David Muir.
Yeah.
Handsome lad. Great hair.
8.3 million people.
A lot of angles with David, you know, with the arms thing. And then when they shoot him, he's always in an angle. It's very strange.
He's a handsome man.
Very handsome. Great hair.
I have no idea, like, what people are watching on regular TV. I don't know.
They're not for the most part.
Yeah. All right, let's break. Enough. What have you had enough of? 651-461-9226. A lot of texts coming in. I want to know about your serious concerns and your petty concerns. I'll give an example. Texter says, enough of large pickups, tailgating, and speeding. It's just so consistent. 95% white males. I mean, first of all, that is so, like, offensively stereotypical. And, like, it's also sort of true. Drive time back with enough in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Audient Hearing.
Electric air taxi startup Joby Aviation is getting a helping hand from Toyota. Joby and Toyota are forming a joint venture to manufacture Joby's S4 electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, with the aircraft currently in the final stages of FAA certification. Joby plans to deliver an aircraft to Dubai this year to complete flight testing ahead of launching its commercial operations. I'm Jason Brooks.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audient Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audienthearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
There are certain sounds that we all know, right? And there's sounds that make you say, oh, no. The hum of an electrical breaker that just keeps tripping. Do you have one of those kind of outlets in your kitchen where you plug in the pizza maker and then it's just like pop, pop? Maybe you have a drain that's always gurgling. Just closed circuit to my friends who are homeowners. Nothing in your home should be gurgling. No gurgling. Maybe you have that drip that never goes away. The water heater that's just stopped doing its job, and immediately you're like, oh, no. Well, that moment, I want you, when you think of the oh, no moment, to think about calling Randy's Electric and Plumbing. For more than 20 years, Randy's has been saving the day. Twin Cities homeowners, you're dealing with stressful stuff. Maybe it's electrical repairs. Maybe it's the fact that you look at your electrical panel. You're like, we got to upgrade this thing. You got to rewire old wiring. And then the plumbing side. Yeah, nobody wants to deal with a plumbing mess, a sewer or a drain service or a sump pump problem, water heaters. They got you covered. The licensed team at Randy's, they arrive ready to work. They explain your options clearly and give you honest pricing before the work begins. When you have an oh no moment, don't panic. Call Randy's.com and call Randy's Electric and Plumbing.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
The warm days of summer have arrived. You're going to want to have an AC in your house. Call Metro Heating and Cooling. We'll be happy to help you choose the AC system that's right for your home and wallet. Get a free estimate at metroheating.com. Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Metroheating.com.
Summer is here and you need more room for your kids or grandkids and all their stuff. It's Jason DeRusha for Luther Kia of Bloomington. We're in the middle of the summer sticker sales event. 0% on all Sportages and Sorrentos. Specially marked vehicles have $750 bonus cash too. Best cars for the money on the market. It's not just me saying it. It's U.S. News and World Report. Check out their brand new facility. Luther Kia of Bloomington now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
South 94 jammed up as you move toward Plymouth Avenue, heading down to Lowry Hill Tunnel. East 394, some slowing as you move between Dunwoody and downtown. North 35W slows past Lake Street. Southbound 35E, a 20-minute ride easily as you come down from Grand Avenue, heading toward the work zone at West 7th Street. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Gutman Law bringing us our weather forecast. Rain in the south, nothing in the metro. Here's Chris Schaefer.
We'll be taking a break, an extended break from any rainfall. Mostly cloudy overnight tonight as we fall back to about 68. Partly cloudy, 85 tomorrow. Not as humid. Soak in the drier air. It will get muggy again by the weekend. Sunshine on Friday with a high of 87. Highs will be in the 90s Saturday and Sunday and stay there early next week.
Cloudy outside right now. Honestly, not a bad night for a ball game, right? If you want to go over to Target Field, 80 degrees in Minneapolis on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I have had enough. Enough is enough! Enough!
Oh, it's our weekly gripe session, the time to get it off your chest. What is driving you nuts? What have you had enough of? At 651-461-9226. Lots of texts coming in. But I want to get started with Marcia. Marcia in St. Paul called in at 651-461-9226. Marcia, you get to kick it off. What have you had enough of?
Well, hi, Jason. Good afternoon.
I have had enough of the commercials that advertise products to boost your self-esteem. My hair is thinning to the point that I will one day be bald. I have bags under my eyes and my muscles are smaller, but I can still get around. And I have not lost one iota of my self-confidence. Self-confidence comes from inside you, from the way you live your life and how many people you help every day, not from what you think other people think of how you look.
Oh, Dan's clapping. Dan's clapping.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I generally agree with you. And I think for many people, self-confidence does get a boost when you kind of feel better about yourself. And sometimes it is those sort of external things. Not for everybody. I do feel what you're saying, though, about this sort of the media pressure that, like, you have to care about those things because you don't. You certainly don't, right?
Yeah, when I see the commercials and then the commentary by somebody who's used a product and it's, I feel so much more confident about myself. I immediately think every time, is that all it takes?
Yeah, it is.
What are you like inside?
Well, we're all motivated. So my friend John Tower, who's a sociologist, talks about external and internal, kind of the intrinsic, extrinsic motivation.
Yep.
And so I do think, like, it's sort of you think about like the scales of justice, right? Some of us are a little weighted too far on the extrinsic motivators and not enough on the internal things like you're talking about. Yeah. Maybe self-confidence is the wrong word.
I used to be more that way as well, but now that I've gotten a little bit older, maybe it just has to do with life experience.
Little wisdom. Yeah. Very good. Excellent enough, Marcia. Thank you. That was a good start. Thoughtful and also a little petty. That's what we are all about on this show. 651-461-9226. Now, before the break, I read a text from someone complaining about pickup trucks. And the texter gave the assertion that it was 95% white males driving pickup trucks, which is likely false. It's likely not 95%, but like you could see 95% from what the right number is. Texter responds, oh, so you'll read on air a text from somebody complaining about big pickup trucks that are always driven by white men. Okay, read this on air. And I'll just stop right there. That's not how this works. Like, you don't get to like, you're a hypocrite. But this texter says, I'm tired of hearing the super loud bass that people install in their car that you can hear from 8 blocks away. And it's usually, now then you can fill in whatever you want there.
White people just can't get a break, Jason.
Can't. Look, there are certain categories that I think you're allowed to make fun of. White people, balding guys, old white balding guys.
Wait a minute.
Wait
a minute. Hold on a second.
Man.
Am I wearing a Target? I didn't notice anything.
And like this is my controversial opinion as to who you're still allowed to make fun of, but I believe Polish jokes are still acceptable. That's the one. You can write that down. If you have a book of like which types of offensive jokes are allowed, I believe that the Polak jokes are still okay. And I don't know. My wife tells me that that's false, but I'm sure the Minnesota Polak community can respond and tell me I'm wrong. Jeff in Sauk Rapids. Jeff, you always have a solid enough. What do you got?
I have had enough of old farts and their stupid little Kias cutting you off to get into a parking stall.
Wait a minute. Did I cut you off the other day?
You're not an old fart yet.
Okay. Did you get cut off in the parking lot?
Yeah. So today I'm at, this happens all the time. I'm at Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm driving the right way down the correct lane. And way down in the end, I see a handicap stall. The last one, it's the nearest the door. And I said, oh, this baby's mine. And along the way, I paused for a moment because the woman on my right was backing away from her hatchback. and stuck her big butt out in front of my truck. I didn't want to scare her.
Mm-hmm.
While I paused, here comes a Kia with an old geezer in it from an intersecting lane, took a right into my lane, cut a U-turn, and took my spot.
Now, I'm guessing this guy did not get his Kia from Luther Kia of Bloomington, where the customers...
No, that's later. No, that's later.
Oh, that's not now? All
But
right. I just
there should be a geriatric jail for those people where you throw them in the clink, turn down the heat, and for 1 week you give them bread, water, and Geritol, and that's it.
What is the age cutoff, you think, where you should be sent to the geriatric jail?
Anybody older than me.
Okay. Correct. Thank you, Jeff. Very good. Textures. Laying it on. I love it. Keep it coming at 651-461-9226. What have you had enough of? Dan and I will share ours coming up, too. Stick around right here on Drive Time. Twins baseball on the air. Pregame at 6 o'clock. Twins at home against the Guardians here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, I was telling a story before about being at the grocery store and forgetting to have one of my products rung up. Such an oversight would never happen if I had Minnesota pork. You better believe I had Minnesota pork in that grocery cart last night, which I absolutely paid for. And felt good about it, too. It's Jason here for the 3,000 family farmers, every corner of this great state, who are working so hard to bring Minnesota pork lean, high protein, safe, affordable. Bring that to your family. Now, you might need recipe inspiration. I don't know. I'm always looking for new ideas. And right now at tastewhatporkcando.com, there is a maple pork burger with apple slaw that just looks absolutely to die for. The prep time, just 20 minutes. You get a pound of lean ground pork, a little bit of maple syrup. The rest of it, you probably have some cabbage, some sweet potatoes, some apple. Chop that up. A couple other ingredients in there, and off you go. You can grill it. You can bake it. Got a lot of different options for a delicious, nutritious dinner. Think about ground pork. Think about pork tenderloin. Think about some of the pork cuts that you don't always use and bring it into your family. Try something new. Try something delicious. Taste what porkcando.com. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Welcome to the Minnesota Summer Lost and Found. We currently have 1 pair of sunglasses, 3 beach towels, 7 flip-flops, no matching pairs. We have a kid named Brayton found sprinting toward the wild thing at Valley Fair. I'm fine. Still missing 1 sense of direction near the cabin turnoff, and someone's dignity after saying it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
The one thing Minnesotans never want to lose? Their connection to what's going on. Here, you stay informed with trusted updates, smart conversations, and voices that know Minnesota.
We also found 1 olive green Tupperware lid. No container.
What's lost can be found with News Talk 830 WCCO.
And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us.
I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on.
And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, it's Benita. We all know how great the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty is. Moni, how did you get started working with the Schuster Group?
It started off with my husband driving to work one morning, listening to WCCO, and a commercial for the John Schuster Group came on. My main contact was Tim Sabin. They posted the listing. By the end of that day, we already had over 600 views. It was crazy. There was one offer that by far stood out way above the rest, over 10% over asking. and they had cash in bank.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
To see it just blow up like that and move so fast and to get so much more over asking, it couldn't have been a more exciting and fun time. Selling that house for 20 years, one of the hardest decisions I had to make in my life. Choosing John Schuster Group, easiest decision I ever made in my life.
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Lockridge, and I'm the host of a new podcast from Odyssey called Family Lore. In this podcast, I'm going to have people on to tell unusual and sometimes far-fetched stories about their families.
I've heard my whole life that she invented the margarita.
And then we're going to investigate those stories and find out how much of it is true.
He gets a patent 1 month before the Wright brothers. Oh my God.
Please follow and listen to Family Lore, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things a bit slow for South 35 East, make way between Roselawn and I-94, and then again is moved between Victoria Street and the work zone with an extra 10-15 on your drive there. 394 eastbound, some slowings, make way past Worth Parkway into Minneapolis. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by JTR Roofing. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 68. No issues with the game tonight. Tomorrow, 85 is the high. Friday, 87. And then into the 90s by this weekend. Tomorrow, probably the best day of the week. So get out there and enjoy it. Day game for the Twins. So that will be fun as well. Right now, it is 78 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Nothing. It just turns into nothing so quickly.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Enough!
All right, lots of great enough tax. Dan, do you have an enough you would like to let rip?
I've had enough of Twins players getting hurt.
We had another one today, right?
Another one. Marco Raya, bullpen pitcher, young kid that had made his major league debut just not that long ago. Now he's on the disabled list, or the injured list. But it really just stinks for Byron Buxton. I mean, it's the right call for sure. Get him treatment, get him rest, get him healthy for the second half run. But finally to be elected to start the All-Star game and now he can't play. That just stinks. I've had enough of it.
Texters say, I've had enough of seeing young people, young women specifically, texting on their phone. Not sure there's a gender divide there, in my view.
It's more of an age divide than a gender divide, I think.
I will say this. Today on the elevator in my apartment building, I'm on the 12th floor. The people who got on before me could have, the highest floor they could be on would be 18.
Okay.
They, at 12, both exited the elevator, and I waited. They were both looking at their phone. I got in. They both got back in.
Got off on the wrong floor.
They were trying to go to the basement level.
Oh.
So that's how little attention they were paying.
Yeah.
And then once they got back in, I was like, you're a long way from B. They're like, yeah, I guess we weren't on here very long.
Little engrossed in the phone.
That's
annoying. I totally get that. It's the people driving around that really.
The texters.
Texters
while drivers.
It just drives me crazy.
I'm just surprised how bad people are at it. Like you see the people holding the phone
just
up
don't
to
care.
their eye.
They just don't care. And it's so
make an effort
blinking
to hide it.
dangerous.
Make an effort.
You're missing so much of the road when you're doing that. It's like, I just,
not good.
When you get in your crash, please don't take anybody else with you. That's all I'm worried about.
I had somebody almost slam into me on the highway today, just weaving all over the place. I've had enough of people who use the word like constantly in their sentences when it's not appropriate, such as, it is really, like humid out today. I do feel like has made a comeback.
As a verbal crutch, it is one of the top ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I've had enough of people calling each other dude. Of course, it's a fad we must all blindly follow, but every
Bruh.
person has an actual name.
Bruh, cool out, bruh.
We don't need to speak like pot-smoking surfers.
It seems a little stereotypical.
I don't mind, dude. Bruh.
I don't either.
Man.
There's actually,
Come on, man.
there's an old John Wayne film, Rio Bravo. It's John Wayne, Dean Martin's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh gosh, who's the singer? Angie Dickinson's in it. Ricky Nelson is in there too.
Ricky Nelson.
Yes.
This is a 1959 Western.
And it's a classic John Wayne Western film, right?
Yeah.
Dean Martin's character in that film is named Dude. So about half a dozen times you get to see John Wayne saunter into a room and say, "Good morning, dude." And it's the funniest dang thing you've ever seen in your life. I howl out. I love that movie just to see that.
Texters say I've had enough of Doug and Emu. I've had enough of Angie Craig ads. I've had enough of tinted windows that are straight black. Yeah.
I've kind of had enough of the attacking about who's getting what money from where. I don't think people really care about that at this point.
I know I said that
Maybe
on
we
social
should, but-
media, and boy, did the people come for me.
Oh.
Like, well, you're just carrying water for Angie
Yeah,
Craig.
that's
Like, well,
the lefties that are going to support Peggy no matter what, that's what they're trying to
my
harp on.
my view on the dirty money is that if you believe that any particular politician can be bought and paid for on the major issues that are being talked about in this race, you believe it's not their own issues, then you should not vote for them. And so litigating the money stuff on and on and on doesn't really matter. You don't believe that that person has genuine views. You believe that they are so corrupt that they can be paid for, then you should absolutely not vote for them. I personally, when I look at Angie Craig and Peggy Flanagan, you can disagree with their politics, but I do not view either of those people as being potentially bought and paid for. So I just sort of reject this idea with those two.
I'm with you on that one. What it's done now is, can you tell me one substantive issue difference between the two of them? Because all they talk about is money.
I've had enough of people who yell at nurses on the phone. Oh, who's yelling at nurses? I've never had enough of Continental Diamond. Continental Diamond time check is 5:57. Let's get another Twins win tonight.
It's the 27th annual Anoka Riverfest and Craft Fair, presented by the Sorensens of Insurance Brokers of Minnesota. Bring the whole family for handcrafted treasures, tasty food, and live music in historic downtown Anoka. Free admission and parking Saturday, July 11th. Learn more at AnokaRiverfest.org.
I have had enough of out of control insurance rates, and that's why I am a proud customer of the Canopy Group and thecanopygroup.com. It's Jason for our locally owned insurance team. That's what you want. Most Minnesotans have one insurance agent that represents one insurance company. The Canopy Group has 50 professionals representing 16 different insurance companies. When you reach out to the Canopy Group at 800-967-3389, it's like you've got your own team comparison shopping for you. They will mix and match the best coverage for your zip code, your home, your scenario. One call, one website visit, the best coverage for the best price. Do it at thecanopygroup.com or call 800-967-3389. That is the Canopy Group.
I'm here with Alex Sherrod, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney with Helmuth & Johnson. Alec, Minnesota laws can be